Hello, everybody. Welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt, and thank you for joining us tonight with another Mecha Hack one-shot. Oh, I just realized the title of the mission is wrong. Oh, no. I was going so well. Well, the mission that we're playing tonight is called Defending Kuro Station, and it was written by Gwen Reed, who you might know if you're active in the Absolute Tabletop community. She is one of the writers that we brought on to write a bunch of awesome missions for this book. So we're going to be running through that mission that she wrote tonight. I also want to remind everyone that we do have a Kickstarter going right now. If you can't tell by the big "We're on Kickstarter" balloon right next to me, the link for that is down in the description. And then the one other thing I want to mention, the little housekeeping thing, is we are doing a Black Friday sale right now on the Absolute Tabletop website. So if there are any books of ours that you don't already own, if there's anything that you're looking for like gifts and stuff like that, we have some awesome stuff over at absolutetabletop.com. All of it is like super discounted right now for Black Friday, and will be through the weekend through Cyber Monday. So definitely check that out. Okay, so this is the second mission that I have run in this series of one-shots. All of the stuff that we're using tonight has been pulled from Mission Manual, so a lot of the players that are with me tonight are using chassis and pilots and stuff from Mission Manual. I'm running a mission from the Mission Manual, and we're also going to be using Zeta points tonight. So last game, we kind of featured the environment templates. Tonight, we're going to be featuring Zeta points, so I'm going to real quick read the rules for Zeta points so that we can all be on the same page here. Zeta points are fun meta rewards that can be exchanged to benefit your allies. You gain Zeta points by doing cool stuff in the game, by coming up with just crazy enough to work plans, taking big risks, or shining in roleplay. Zeta points are intended for dramatic, climactic, or otherwise critical moments, the last-ditch attack, pushing your reactor beyond its limits, or taking a huge risk to accomplish an important task. Here's the catch. You cannot use Zeta points on yourself. You can only help another player with your Zeta points. You can also only use one Zeta point per turn. When you use a Zeta point, a fellow player gains one of the following benefits. They can reroll their reactor die, reroll their damage die, or gain one additional action on their turn. Reactor rolls still apply if you do multiples of the same actions. So, with Zeta points, you can get pretty crazy with the number of actions and things that are flying around. So we're going to play with that a little bit tonight. No one's starting with Zeta points, but I will be handing them out through the game. So that's what we're going to be playing with tonight. I'm going to give everyone a chance to introduce themselves and also talk a little bit about their mecha that they built for this evening. So let's go ahead and just start right down here with Aaron. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about the mecha that you built?
Hi, Aaron. Aaron Van Sock. I play every other week on the Mecha Hacks Paladins stream, and hope you guys check that out. And you can find me at AaronDVS on Twitter. I am playing with a Vet pilot and a Colossus chassis. I decided to take two from these new Mission Manual character options and choices to really show them off. Really excited about that. And I'll be playing Deborah Mikulski, a mom who is just passing through Kuro Station with her kids and her husband Hank, and just hoping nothing bad happens, because we really need this road trip to get to help the family just unwind. It's been a long year, so that's
the
me.
Kids are off school.
The kids are out of school. Hank just got his bonus. As he's been working real hard, and I just came back from fighting in some mech war somewhere, and I just need a break. So we're just taking the space minivan through Kuro Station. Need to get over to Space Disney World, and I need to make my kids love me. God damn it!
Amazing. I cannot wait to see her in action. Next up, Jay, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the mecha that you're playing tonight. I know this is a mecha that you played before previously, so.
Very much. This is similar. I tried tweaking it a little bit, but it was, since I'm kind of new to Mecha Hack, I've kind of fell in love with this process. So, but for those who don't know me, I'm Jay. I am NeoFit3 on the socials, Twitter and etc. You can also find me on Scaravision on Wednesday nights. But and also, like I said, I've played this once or twice, so I've kind of gotten to enjoy and love this game. And what I've come up with is a Maverick Scout, who is basically Lancer Corbett. He's kind of your wonderful, I know what I'm doing because I'm an ace pilot, but no one likes me because I jump into danger, and I jump into everyone's danger, and well, if I die, I die. If I don't, because I haven't been killed yet, so no one can kill me. Got a little bit of an ego because, well, no one can hit me. So, but he's basically passing through because the last group he was with kicked him out because he was taking too many dangerous chances and got the rest of the squad kind of shot up because he couldn't get touched, but everyone else could. So he's kind of looking for a job, merc for hire. He's kind of looking like, what can I do? What can I do? So that's Lancer Corbett.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay. Good to have you. Next up, another paladin in our bi-weekly game. Matt, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the mech that you rolled up.
Yeah, I rolled up a hybrid mech, which is one of the new chassis in the mission manual, and I tried to build it as soon as the artwork came out. I tried to build it very adjacent to Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yep.
Or Gelion. And yeah, really excited to play a monstrous, tears everything apart type mecha. But my character, my pilot that I'll be playing is I'm going with a background that's bionic, but my mechanical class is the Merc, because he's a former mercenary, and he is the human side of him, as a result of becoming this bionic soldier, has aged rapidly. So he is a young man in an old man's body, and a native to this station we're starting at, and they only know him as Old Silas, an old man who likes to feed birds and animals that got on the station. So yeah, excited to be playing that character and another Mecha Hack game.
I am very excited about that character. I was excited when you sent me that character concept, so that'll be cool to see him in action. And last but certainly not least, Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the mecha that you're going to be playing tonight.
Hello everyone, my name is Paul. I will be playing Corvin Poe, who is a pariah pilot. It's one of the new ones available. They are strange, otherworldly, and they also have a macabre, unconventional way of doing things. People view them as outcasts or maybe even a loner type character. A little odd. And he is piloting an auxiliary chassis, which is support-based one, also a new one as well. And it goes by the name of Voodoo Raven. And Poe is just passing through. He just doesn't like to make a big deal of things. He just comes in, stays for a bit, and then he's gone again. And
Perfect.
it's his mecha. The Voodoo Raven it looks odd. It almost looks supernatural in a way, if that's possible with technology. And he doesn't look like any common mechs out there, so it looks like it's a custom model.
A custom spooky model, to be very clear. This is a super spooky mech. So yeah, I've got a good bunch of players tonight. Really fun, unique cast of characters. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. We open on this kind of like a sweeping sort of shot that is zooming through space, very like Star Trek, like the stars are kind of flying past us, and there's this glimmer of metal, and as we zoom through space, zooming past planets and moons and gaseous nebula, we see this little glimmer of metal get closer and closer, and we see that it's this massive station, this massive space station. It has this like habitation ring that's kind of revolving around it, supported by this central column that kind of spans like hundreds of stories tall, and you can see lights glimmering all across the hull of this thing from these windows, and the lights kind of glowing out of these windows. There are ships that are coming and going from this station at fairly regular intervals, and all of the ships, none of them have any sort of like uniformity to them. They're all sort of fringe mercenary ships, cargo vessels, freighters, and things like that. These are all privateer ships that are coming and going here from Kuro Station. Kuro Station is neutral ground. It is not owned by any faction here in Lodestar Alpha, and so it operates as almost like a city-state, but it's also a central trade hub and a very important location here in this sector of space. And so we zoom in and we actually come up behind one of these cargo ships that is preparing to dock, and as the camera zooms past this cargo ship, we find ourselves inside the massive hangar of Kuro Station. And there's people bustling here and there, people loading and unloading large cargo containers onto these like hover sleds that they're pulling off. There are these almost like insectoid looking mechanical beings known as beetles, which I can't remember off the top of my head what the acronym stands for, but it's BEDL. And these like insectoid little things are like scrabbling all over the outsides of the ships, like doing little repairs, plugging in fuel lines and things like that. And as the camera continues to pan past all of this bustling activity, and we hear like over the PA, like, now docking in 34. There's just like all this sort of activity happening. I think the first character that we run into is we see Deb coming down the gangplank of her ship, possibly with her family as well, as they have recently docked here at Kuro Station. So, Aaron, go ahead and introduce Deb. What is she doing here on Kuro Station? And what does she look like as she comes down the gangplank here?
Well, the first thing that the camera would pan to are the jeans that are very high-waisted and cover a little bit of a paunch. Over that is actually a pretty utilitarian sort of burnt orange smock that has just different. It's rolled up and it looks like it's covered in, like it has, like you see some grease stains and stuff like that. And she has this. She's sort of a middle-aged woman in her 40s. She has this shorter than my hair, short feathery hair, and she's wearing all kinds of just like chunky jewelry, and she is behind her is another sort of middle-aged man, graying in the temples, looks a lot like actor Jeffrey Jones, and there is a sort of a frumpy older teenage daughter and a younger spiky-haired maybe like tween boy, and she is currently walking down this gangplank and saying, Hank, honey, are you listening? All right, good. Hank, I need you to find where we can rest our heads for the night. I think that they're going to charge us extra if we try to stay in the ship. They'll say that we have live cargo or something like that. They were trying to explain it to me at the entrance, but we got to find some kind of place we can stay tonight. Something that you know, these kids, that they're tired. Look at them. Stop hitting your sister. Shane, stop it. Thank you. All right. So wow, this is cool.
And as you are disembarking from the like space Winnebago that your family is getting off of, the next character we're gonna meet here is I imagine that Jay, that the ace would be kind of sauntering through the hangar with a little bit of a little swagger in his step. Go ahead and describe what we see as the camera swings over and we meet your character for the first time.
So as he's walking down, he's got that swagger. He's got some nice glasses, sunglasses type on, short, brown hair with a nice little red streak down that kind of comes down. Wearing that nice bomber jacket, t-shirt underneath, and Hawaiian shorts.
Oh man, yeah.
And he's just kind of walking down. He doesn't care. He's kind of looking and going like, all right, yeah, oh, nice. Now, where's that alcohol? Ah, the bars, gambling, yeah. Ooh, that. He's just kind of walking down, just admiring different things, like, looking at people. Occasionally, might see a kid or two who's like, and just keep walking, just kind of soaking it in. He's like, ooh, what can I? Yeah, this is a nice place. Ooh, look, nice. I like that neon. All right, yeah, this is gonna be fun. I can feel it. I can feel it in the bones. This is gonna be a fun time. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah.
And Lancer definitely finds his way into some sort of card game or dice game that's happening here in the midst of the hangar. He just manages to find his way there, and even through your aviator sunglasses, I'm picturing like a little bit of Maverick, but also a little bit of like MASH happening here. Like just yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Okay, great. And then we swing the camera around as he kind of gets involved in this game off to the side of the hangar, and we see an old man possibly sitting on a bench. I don't know. What do we see when we meet old Silas for the first time, Matt?
Old Silas, he has very short military cut hair, but it is like a slate gray and a hack job, like self-cut. He wears a long beige trench coat, and under it just regular white colonist clothes. And he sits on this bench every single day. A pipe is leaking the system's water into this pool in front of the bench, and these weird creatures like birds and critters that have been stowaways on ships and from other worlds just gather at this puddle, and he feeds them. And there is this automaton, a spheroid machine that floats around him, and it's kind of buzzing erratically and excitedly, and this spheroid pipes up, "Sir, it's gonna be a great day." And you just see the old man wave away the machine and say, "Co-pilot, shut up." And even still, the machine persists optimistically. But yeah, that's what you see.
Great.
of the old man.
And as we pan away from this old man feeding animals at the hangar, I imagine that Corvin is maybe just arriving here on Kuro Station. So what do we see as the camera pans around and we see him for the first time, Paul?
He is covered head to toe in I guess it's a flight suit, but it also has a mask over it as well, and no part of him can be seen, and he makes sure that his mecha is being unloaded off of I guess he hitched a ride on a cargo ship, and it's being unloaded, but it's all sealed in this large crate. And he turns around, finds the dock master or someone there who works there, and says, just a word comes out, almost artificial, and says, bar, food.
And this dock master, this kind of harried woman with a data pad, who's kind of sort of processing everyone that's coming into the dock here. She looks up at this this huge armored cargo container that can really only contain one thing. And she arches her brow at this a little bit and says, that way, and points you. And there's this flickering neon sign that literally just says, like, drinks, food. Like, that's it. So you know you've come to the right place. And she would jerk her thumb over her shoulder, indicating that that's where you want to go. After we meet all of these characters and we get a feel for this trade hub, we cut back to old Silas, and there is two boys approaching you, Silas. They're maybe in their like late teens. It's hard to tell. People kind of age differently when they live out in space, but you get the sense that they're maybe 16, 17 years old. And one of them is approaching eagerly while the other one is kind of keeps yanking them back and saying, no, we can't. And he says, get off me. And he would come forward and say, he kind of puts on this like fake baritone voice that
get on
clearly
with
isn't
it.
his. He says, excuse me, sir, but I had heard that that you had a machine, and we were just wondering. He kind of gets close to you and maybe even sits next to you on the bench. He says, the Neo-Dominion's gonna be coming again soon, and, well, we want to fight. And if the rumors are true and you do have a mecha, we could use it to fight back.
He leans forward and says, you know, there was a time when machines were less predictable. The machine that I have, if I wake it up, it's known to eat up children like you. And he's like trying to like spook them.
The kid that was very hesitant to approach, like, books it, like just takes off running, like splashing through puddles through the hangar. But the other one seems fairly unfazed, maybe even a little impressed. And he says, well, let's wake it up. If it's as powerful as you say, we could fight back against the Neo-Dominion and they'd never bother us again. They'd never come and take our stuff and our people. We gotta fight back this time.
He says, yes, they may not take everything, but there is always a cost. But you're right. Perhaps it's time.
See?
He like
I
struggles
knew you would
to
listen.
like stand a little tall, straighter. He is like rickety. He is having a hard time standing up on his own power.
He would, the kid would stand and maybe even help you up and say, sorry, I don't know how to say this without sounding mean, but if you're too old, you could teach me to pilot it. I run labor mecha in the hangar all the time. I know the controls. I know the systems. You could teach me.
He looks the kid dead in the eyes and says, "No, our wars have known enough of child sacrifice. Not yet. I still have one fight in me."
As you say
Now
this,
run along.
He nods. Okay, we should talk to the governor. If we talk to the governor, then she can make it happen.
Yes, the governor and I are familiar. Now run along.
Okay. And he would take off. As he does so, the other kid that went running, scared from old Silas, would bump into Deb as Deb is kind of backing down the gangplank, unloading cargo, and he would just go sprawling across the floor of the hangar. And he would get up. Sorry, excuse me, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Here, get up. She would go to him and pull him up. You gotta watch yourself there. It's these are slippery. Who put that puddle there? They should really. You know what? Where is the hangar's manager? Because there has been a lot of safety problems around here, including just puddles that have just been left around. We really should call somebody about that. Sorry. You were on your way. Is everything okay?
As you're talking, he's kind of looking at your ship. Whoa.
Yeah, the back of as things are being unloaded, like luggage and stuff, like the back of this ship, there you kind of see in the background a sort of, I don't know, like folded up like mech in the back. You probably wouldn't recognize it as a mech unless you all saw like this
bungee corded in the back of the
Yeah, it's bungee corded, and it's and you probably can't even, like, it's like behind like beach umbrellas and all kinds of shit, and you wouldn't be able to tell except for like the eyes of this massive head that are back there, and she sees him looking at it, and she would probably go and, like, she gets out, she's like searching for her key fob, and she's just like, oh god, oh Christ, and she finally, and the thing starts to close, but then there's like a like one of these beach umbrellas is hanging out, and so it doesn't let the trunk close, and then it starts to open back up. Oh no, okay, all right, she starts pushing it back, trying to close it manually. Just forget what you saw. Just forget it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I won't tell anybody, but I saw what that was. That was a mecha, and not like the forklift ones we run in the hangar. That was a battle mecha for war.
Well, I did do run some missions back in the day before I settled down, had some kids. Keep it as a bit of a memorial, but mm-hmm.
You can help us then.
Help you? What do you need? It looks like you got plenty of those cargo mechs down there.
Well, we don't need mechs that can pick stuff up. We need mechs that can shoot and fight and blow things up. We're trying to get people to help us because the Neo-Dominion's coming again soon, and the last time they took so much.
She looked at him and she says, all right, is there anybody else here who's gonna help you?
Well, my friend and I were gonna try and get old Silas on our side, but he's just old and creepy, and I don't know, he scared me off. I don't think he's gonna help.
Well, tell me, where is this old Silas?
He's back there, sitting on a bench. I don't know, he's always feeding pigeons and stuff, but people always talk about how he used to be a soldier and that he used to be a mecha pilot.
Well, if we can talk one soldier to another, maybe I can help. Now, listen, you get back home, you take care of yourself, you need to watch out for any puddles or anything like that you might slip in, okay? And
Okay.
all right, you get on along. And as she watches the kid sort of like run away, she just kind of like, without looking behind her, just yells, "Hank! You're gonna need to get the kids into a really nice hotel, okay? Someplace safe. I got things to do." And she goes to find the bench.
Awesome. Okay, you go off in search of old Silas. We cut back to this bar, this kind of dingy hangar bar that is little more than walls made of like tattered curtains kind of cordoning it off from the rest of the hangar. But Corvin has managed to find himself a drink and a meal there, at least. And Corvin, you're sitting there, and I don't know if you have to take your mask off to drink or eat or anything, but you would, while you're there, overhear these two young people sitting at the bar, a man and a woman, and they're kind of in hushed conversation, trying to keep it low, but you still hear them talking, and they're saying, "Listen, all we needs to do is get a couple good mecha pilots. They come through here all the time. Mercenaries, freelancers. We might not be able to afford them, but if we can promise them something, goods or free room and board, free port here, maybe they would fight for us and we could scare the Neo-Dominion off. They gotta spend a lot of fuel to come out here, you know." And the woman says, "It's a stupid idea. The governor will never go for it. It's too big of a risk, and she'd rather give up the cargo than put our people at risk." And the guy says, "Our people are already at risk. The last time the Neo-Dominion came here, they took near a dozen people for their pilot program. They're taking our people now. We can't let them get away with it." How do you react to this conversation, Corvin?
First thing is, would they have a protein shake on the menu?
Definitely, yeah.
So
Like a real gross protein shake that's made out of, like, I don't know, some sort of runoff and like a protein supplement that they give people out in space.
that's fine. So Corvin is drinking just a small little gap that opens up and just enough for the straw. And he walks, he's suddenly behind them and they hear a slurping sound as he's finishing it. And he puts it down on the bar. And you hear out of side vents is a little hiss. And a metallic voice, like the thing slides shut, and there's a metallic voice and says, "You need a mecha pilot?"
They both kind of look at you a little surprised, looking you up and down, maybe eyeing you with a mixture of suspicion, and they're spooked a little spooked. And the woman says, "Maybe. Are you a pilot? Mercenary?"
Yes.
She looks at the guy, and the guy says, "Yeah, we might be. Credits are scarce out here, but we have other things to offer if you're interested in helping us out."
Safe place.
Say again?
Safe place.
Well, if you're looking for a safe place, partner, I'm afraid you come to the wrong place, but with your help, we can make it safe.
Help for a safe place.
Yeah,
Feel
that's...
a little bit, even through the metallic sound, there's a strain in the voice a bit.
Yeah. Well, if you're willing to help us, if you have a mecha, we can make Kuro Station safe again. If you're interested.
There's a nod. And he says, "Hey, points to himself and says, Poe.
Poe. Okay. Rick. This is Tyler. We work in the hangar. We run labor mechs. We were thinking about retrofitting them for war, but I just don't have the armor, the firepower to make a dent in those Neo-Dominion mecha. Listen, that's one. If we could get old Silas on board, and she goes, old Silas is never gonna go for it. Yeah, maybe though. Alright, listen. Poe. We'll gather what we can, resources, supplies, and, listen, we need to have a chat with the governor. If you meet us in the governor's office, it's at the center of the hub, we can talk more there. Give us like 15, 20 minutes, yeah?
It's a nod.
Great. And they move off, kind of chattering excitedly with each other. We cut back to a group of people who are huddled over a crate, and there's kind of an uproar, and everyone kind of gets up and starts leaving, and there's one guy sitting there left who looks at you, Lancer, and says, "Damn it! You just rolled up and robbed me clean."
I wouldn't call it robbed. I would be calling it skill, but that's okay. I'm just enjoying the game. So you played well, my friend. You played well, yes. But someone has to win and someone has to lose. So thank you. Thank you very much.
He pushes all of these like credit shits and paper bills and a few little odds and ends towards you. Well, call it what you will. You won, fair and square.
Yeah. What is that? Here, I don't know what that is. You can have that back. Anyways.
Hey, thanks. He puts it back. It's his fake eye. He puts it into the socket.
Okay. There's yep, that's my cue. I'm the bar. Thank you. I'm that way, right?
Yeah. Hey, if you're looking for work, listen.
Really?
I don't want to make assumptions, but you're a mecha pilot, yeah?
Oh, well, of course, yes. I don't know what gave it away, but yes, I am.
Yeah, between the get up and the, well, your bravado, for lack of a better term, yeah, that's kind of the only type there is. Anyway, there was a couple of people in the bar earlier looking for mecha pilots. If you're looking for work, they might have credits, though you don't seem to be hurting for those after our game.
Well, you know what credits do is they go in your pocket and immediately go right back out to something else. That's how the economy works. But thank you for that tip, young man. I appreciate that. And can I say thank your name by chance?
Mac, yeah.
Mac, no luck. Yep. Okay, Mac, no luck. I will. Thanks again. So,
man, I hope that don't stick. Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, it's my thing. I give nicknames because I don't remember anyone else's. So, hey, thank you very much.
And he like waves you off, and you move into this little bar area. And you would find it mostly deserted, a few people milling about here and there, but you would instantly kind of latch on to this figure standing there with this mask who's kind of sipping a protein shake through a straw at the bar.
Go up next to him and get the bartender's house special. So, and a little bit extra neat, please.
You got it. He would start making a drink.
Interesting mask, my friend.
The lights in what would be the eyes or goggle area, they narrow a bit the light, so you just see a little band of light.
Interesting. How are you doing today?
Actually, thumbs up.
Okay, not a talker. All right, not a talker. All right. Bart, give my new friend a drink. He looks like another protein shake is on for him. So yeah, give him another one because hey, where are those kids? Somebody was mentioning work. Kids. You haven't seen two kids around here, have you? Talking about work. Friend?
There's no response from him.
Okay. This is a talker. Okay. As he kind of turns slightly this way and looking at scanning the rest of the room.
The bartender hands you your drink and hands another protein shake to the person beside you. And he says, yeah, there were two people in here looking for Mecha pilots earlier. I don't know if they ended up finding anybody.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Did they leave recently? Description? Maybe they're coming back?
Yeah, they just walked out a few minutes ago. They said they were heading to the governor's office in the hub.
Oh, interesting. That might be. So, I wonder if they...
Is that going to be in 15 minutes now or 10 minutes? How long was that?
Yeah, about 10 minutes.
You hear a voice, almost artificial, saying 10 minutes.
10 minutes what, my friend? If you want to drink that long and take 10 minutes, that's your own business. I just wanted to say that. What's 10 minutes? Your name?
Mecha pilots, governor's office.
Oh, so they recruited you as well. Well, that drink definitely was worth the information. I appreciate that, my friend. You enjoy that drink of yours, and I appreciate the information. Bartender, where's the governor's office? I guess I might have an appointment there.
Yeah, take the main causeway to the center hub. It's on level 6.
All right. Well, my friend, speechless. I will see you later. And you will slam his drink and proceed to exit out.
Great. Back in the hangar, Deb, you find what must be old Silas sitting on the bench. There can be no other explanation for this man sitting here.
Yeah, since should have mentioned since sort of like freshening up in the space Winnebago, she's removed sort of this traveling sort of utility shirt, and this sort of underneath was this we'll say cheetah print sort of blouse underneath, and she moves over to she sees the old man, and she's picked up some coffees from a vendor, 2 coffees, and she goes up to him and she says, I've been asking around, sir, I believe that you go by the name of Silas, is it?
Yeah, and he would have been like had stepped up to speak to the kids or afterwards, and was like just about to leave, but he's moving so slowly, and then you say that to him and he just turns on a heel, and you hear almost like a mechanical whir, like a whir, as he shifts his weight, and he looks at you.
My mom has one of those hip replacements. They do act up sometimes. Yeah, hey there, Silas. I was talking to a kid. Ran into you. You scared him half to death there, trying to scare him away with your. Now, listen. Speaking as a Terran, one Terran vet to, I don't know where you served, but apparently you did serve. Speaking as one vet to another, I would think that you knew that be a little bit more gentle, be a little bit better of an example to these youngins, huh?
They wanted to pilot a mecha. I do not wish that on them. I was trying to scare them into their senses.
Ah, no, you're right about that. I fought too. I was I don't know if you heard about it. I was at the Battle of the Glass Cliffs, and those were some troubled times. Remember, people maybe a quarter of your age, sir. No offense, but fighting in that war, in that battle. So I understand your motives. So what's this about? What's this about the Dominion coming in here? Doesn't sound too polite.
They have been a problem for some time. They do not respect the people that live here, or the way of life.
No, they don't.
And he says, "Why are you asking me this?"
Well, I suspect, it's been a few years since I've been in battle, but I still have my mech with me, the old thing, and it's in good condition, and so I've been recruited, and I think it's a good idea for a couple of old war dogs like us to perhaps don the armor so these kids don't have to, huh?
He takes a long, deep breath and kind of taps his foot in the puddle that the animals were drinking from and looks back at you and smiles and says, "Then let's get started." and he would say, "I do have to get changed first."
Oh, of course, yeah, me too. I suppose, is there anybody we need to be talking to right now before we start walking around with those things?
And then the spheroid just kind of whirs around from it behind his back and like orbits his head and says, "Oh, this guy is not much of a talker."
Well, hello there. What's your name there?
Me? I'm co-pilot.
Hey, co-pilot. Oh, they make so many new gadgets these days. Well, hey there, Mr. Co-pilot. She's trying to get very close to it.
Yes, and it's like it's a mono eye, like it's this big
Yeah.
cycloptic eye, so it's just kind of staring at you and zooming in.
Hey, so I was wondering, do you know where if I need to talk to anybody before walking around in my suit? Because that might be a problem.
I believe Master Silas is heading to the governor's, and you should too.
Okay, well, you tell Master Silas that things go a lot easier if you just speak up every once in a while. Okay. All right, there. Bye, Mr. Co-pilot, sir. And she says, Silas, I will be seeing you around, okay? And I hope it's our last battle, but I hope we come out of this. And she starts heading somewhere in one direction, not realizing that she doesn't know where the governor lives. But she will find it.
I think as you are leaving, he would just say back to you, "You have something to lose."
Oh, yeah, yes. I got my little kiddos and my sweet husband Hank. He wasn't part of the war. He was a little not his style. But I don't want them to. I don't want them to live in a world where they got to put on all that metal either. It's not good.
He just ponders on that for a moment and says, "Good. Make them your strength."
Say, where is this governor's palace?
And he shares his know-how.
Yeah.
We fast forward, and we find ourselves in the governor's office, ready room, this sort of circular chamber in the central hub of Kuro Station. And the four of you are assembled there along with the two younger people that were in the bar recruiting. And the governor, she's this woman she has like blonde hair that's pulled back into a braid, kept very neat and tidy, and she's wearing this oil-stained jumpsuit with the sleeves rolled up, and she's writing something on a data pad. And then as she finishes, she looks up and she says, right, the uprising. Okay, so y'all are mecha pilots then. Is that right? And
Did the glasses not give it away?
you, I could tell, and you, she looks at Silas, should have known you'd be behind this.
Sorry. She would actually know this Visage because he would have introduced himself to her as this when he originally arrived. But he is wearing this charcoal black mask, partially mechanical, with gleaming red eyes, and a fur coat over a tightly knit suit with a blood red tie. And he nods back at her and says, "Well, if I don't have long left, I must admit I've come to like it here."
I've come to like it here too, Silas. You know, you and I share a similar history. I was a pilot too once. I fought. Had a lot of friends die. And I was hoping to avoid that here on Kuro, but whether I like it or not, war has come to my doorstep. The Neo-Dominion seeks to claim sovereignty over Kuro Station. They wish to incorporate us into the Empire, was, I think, the phrasing they used. The younger people on the station here, they've convinced me to fight back. But we do not have the means. We have labor mecha, a few auto turrets to protect from things like pirates and bandits here on the outer edges of space, but beyond that, we are a peaceful station. We can't hope to stand against the likes of the Neo-Dominion. But, on the other hand, and she would activate her data pad and this hologram would spring up out of her desk, and you would see Kuro Station kind of spinning in this hologram. The Dominion can't afford to lose this station, and so we know that they won't destroy us with their cruisers. They have to come aboard with their mecha. Kuro Station, in addition to being a trade hub, is the chief supplier of food for this sector of space. Our biofarms, we provide food for millions here on the fringe. The Dominion can't risk losing all of that. The people here, they are untrained and they are scared, but they are eager. And, well, many of them know their way around weapons and mecha. The four of you, however, are the best chance we have at actually striking against the Neo-Dominion and defending our home. Whether you're here for credits or for the good of the people, and she would like look between Lancer and Silas as she says this. We're happy to have you. Now, it's been a while since I fought, and I'm at a bit of a loss as to how to go about doing this, but I know that the Neo-Dominion will be arriving here within the week. What can we do? What do we do? She looks to all of you and waits.
You say you have a lot of farms here on Kuro.
That's right.
Do you have a lot of manure?
We do. We usually process it down into biofuel for our transport ships, but there's some raw unprocessed as well. Why do you ask?
A little trick we learned in the insurgency over on Barris. That was a farming community too, agrarian moon out there, and a lot of the byproducts and the necessities for farming made pretty good improvised explosives. You knew what you were doing. We could perhaps within the week produce something, anything that might be able to at least give a little bit of firepower, or to whether it's anti-personnel or something. And I think it's going to be important, even though you have, even though you are, you saying that the station is well essential to them. If there's one thing I know about the Dominion, they are callous, and if they think that they're not going to get something, then they'll probably not want anyone else to have it, especially if they think that they're losing. So we need to create a situation in a staging area that we can fight them and have the least amount of collateral damage as possible. That's my 2 cents.
She's taking notes on her data pad as you're speaking, and she nods. All right, well, that's something. What else have we got?
What do they normally take when they come in and invade?
Food, cargo that's come in, cargo that's going out. She would look to the two younger people who are kind of looking downcast. The last time they came, they took some of our able-bodied young people for their pilot program.
So, is there concentrated in the cargo bay? They send a few there. Is there choke points, or are they just everywhere?
They usually enter through the main hangar.
Okay.
But, and she would point to this hologram, they normally station fire teams of Mecha here and here at the auxiliary cargo bays in case we try to, I don't know, escape.
Okay. And generally the fire teams consist of 4 or 5 mechs each, or?
Between 5 to 6.
Oh.
All of them Dominion diode mechas. Top of the line.
I'm not familiar. They look... I don't care much about dimensions. What's their basic shape? I kind of remember them by that. I've killed too many to know that. Big, small, medium, big weapons.
She kind of looks to the two younger people, and the girl speaks up. Standard, Class A size, humanoid type.
Okay.
Each is outfitted with Lodium broadsword and a bolt thrower with explosive rounds.
Interesting. Okay. And what areas in the reactor or the cargo, when they start shooting, that you don't want them shooting at to cause an explosion of sorts? I just need to know where to stand, not to stand when they try to shoot me.
The woman kind of chuckles, and the guy says, well, each hangar has a miniature reactor to to sustain the ray shielding around the hangar itself. You wouldn't want to stand near that when the fighting starts.
Okay, good note. Good safety tip. Thank you. Yep, safety tip. Got it. He starts jotting a notepad and some scribble. Don't stand in front of Boom Boom. Okay.
That's good advice for anybody. The governor looks to Silas. What do you think?
I think we protect our young from this war. We don't train them for this battle the way the Neo-Dominion would. We gamble with what we have. And what we have in this room are machines that can change wars, are pilots that can make an impact. This is all up to chance. Strategy may work, but the Dominion, they are formidable. We must rally on hope alone. My cat also says something.
The governor suddenly there's a cat coming.
The governor pets this like tabby cat that jumps up onto the desk and like flops onto her data pad, and she's petting this cat, and she says, "Some of the people on this station are old enough to enlist, Silas. Would you deny them their right to fight and defend their home, if they so choose?"
If you believe it is their choice, you are their caretaker.
We don't need to destroy the Dominion, but there are other stations out here in this sector. If we can make it too dangerous to be worthwhile, they will stop coming. Lodestar Alpha is large. And I hate to say it, but there are others they can prey upon. I'd prefer a world where they prey on no one, but I'll take what I can get.
One battle at a time, honey.
One battle at a time. She looks to Poe. You have been oddly silent. What do you have to say?
Poe, help. Upgrade.
She like nods like she understands perfectly. That'll be helpful. Okay. So, 3 mercenaries and an old man who I let live here are going to defend the station with a bunch of 17-year-olds. She looks to the kids leaning up against the wall. Right. We have a few days, a week at most. I can focus on training whoever wants to fight, but I could use some help with that. She looks to you, Silas.
And you will have it.
And you, she looks to Poe, the upgrades will be helpful. Whatever you can do. She looks to Lancer. You, well, what can you do here in the next few days?
I can prepare, and how I prepare is the best way I can, by morale and by the bar and helping people feeling at home and keeping the spirits high so that when the time comes, they'll be ready to take action.
The next few days are going to be dour and scary. That will actually be very helpful. Thank you, Lancer.
I'll go fetch my guitar later today, and I'll play a few.
I don't know if that's necessary.
That seems.
Oh, come on. All right. Why does
Anyway,
everyone-
here's Space Wonder Wall.
The old cyborg just doesn't understand.
And go ahead.
And speaking of payment, since we are mercenaries after all,
Of course.
What? And I understand the station's not very financially stable because of the farming and taking and baiting, hence why we're here to help out. But what can you offer us to make sure that our spirits are ready for this upcoming engagement?
Well, there are those Class A standard Neo-Dominion mecha loaded with lodium plating and bolt throwers with explosive rounds. The salvage is yours as much as you want, and they'll fetch a fair price on any market.
Okay. A little room and board thrown in just to,
You'll
make the
stay
hospitality-
here free of charge, and
Excellent.
I've already seen to the waiving of your dock fees.
See, I knew we'd come to a great understanding.
That makes a lot of sense, because let me tell you something. Those dock fees are exorbitant, especially when you consider, there's a lot of mess that's left around because I've been meaning to talk to you actually, because it's not safe. There was a loose railing that I saw that my kid nearly flipped over, and she's got vertigo. So it's scary. You got kids running up and down this place. I'm sorry. I forgot. Sometimes I can't. I'm always in mommy mode, and so it's hard not to switch that flip off. So please, Mrs. Madam Governor, please continue.
Deb, right?
Yep, Deb Mikulski at your service.
One battle at a time, Deb.
Yeah. It's true. I did say that.
And on that note, it sounds like you'll be working on some explosives.
As best as I can. I'll try to. I'll try to work. I can maybe also help Silas out with some tactical stuff, but we need to make sure that we have the best lay of the land for this fight, so we can hold the line.
Of course. All right then. We have a lot to do and not much time to do it in. And we've got one shot at this. If we fail, I don't think any of us will be left to tell the tale. Good luck. Dismissed. Sorry, old habit. Let's go. And we'll go ahead and sort of montage what it looks like over the next few days. Actually, you know what? Let's take a quick bio break, and then we'll montage. So we'll be back here in 2 to 3 minutes and finish up the session. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out and watching tonight. We got a great crowd. Hey, while we're on break, crazy idea. Check out the Mission Manual Kickstarter. There's a link down in the description. Just, if you get around to it. We'll see you here in a little bit. Stick around. Hey, everybody, we're back. So, we're going to do kind of a montage sequence here as we prepare for the coming of the Neo Dominion. I have to say, the mission itself is prepared for something like this. So, we're going to do some tests here as we go through the montage and sort of describe what's happening, and be able to do things like get advantage on the first check. There's a little puppy! Ah! Look at the dog.
God.
Oh.
Give that puppy a Zeta point right now.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, look at it, it's waving.
Uh,
Paul, what's that dog's name?
This is Gracie.
It's just
Hi,
like, what were we doing?
Yeah,
I can't
no,
even focus anymore.
I'm just like, all right, so you're preparing for the coming of this fascist regime that's gonna, oh, there's a dog! Oh, that is precious. Okay, so, get advantage on checks, get Zeta points, things like that. So, we're gonna start here with Aaron, with Deb.
okay.
Go ahead and describe your montage scene, and we'll do a check here to see how you fare. I imagine that all of the biofarms are like in the habitation ring, so it's like fake sunlight. It's very like Colony and Gundam, where it's like made to look like farmland, but it's not actually farmland. So describe to me what you do and what that looks like.
Deb is currently it has like a megaphone and is walking around wearing these like white overalls and has Hank and the kids helping facilitate this sort of assembly line of farmers, basically unloading all of this fertilizer and preparing it to go to to be processed into and to be outfitted with devices that can cause it to ignite. These just very improvised explosives. And those improvised explosives are being loaded into cargo crates that have the designations of like foodstuffs that the Dominion would be looking for.
Okay. So, what makes sense here? A system check, maybe?
Yeah, it's not her forte necessarily. I mean, it's not bad, but
Right.
she's just going off the memory of her time as an insurgent.
Totally.
So
Just working with what you got.
Just working with what you got, and she's given she's trying to rally people together and getting them to organize. So, but she has to try to use her know-how a little bit here.
Totally.
So that's going to be a 9. I believe, yeah, my system's a 13, so it's a success.
Okay, great. So, go ahead and give yourself a Zeta point. Woohoo!
Whoa.
And in addition to that, we'll go ahead and say that we'll use one of the like most versatile tools at our disposal here, which is a usage die. We're going to create a D8 usage die of bullshit explosives. So these manure explosives that Deb has created are currently sitting at a D8, and what you can do is you can use those in combat to deal additional damage, and every time you roll a 1 or a 2, it's going to downgrade, so deal less damage, basically signifying these explosives getting used up and dealing their damage. So that's what we'll do.
Matt, everything you're saying is very cool and everything, but there is another puppy in camera.
Listen, that puppy came up while you were talking, Aaron, and it took every ounce of willpower I have to not go, Aaron, shut up, there's a dog.
Yeah, I did not even realize it, and I'm very mad about it.
What's this dog's name, Paul?
This is Dolce.
Of course it is.
Oh my god. Okay, they're precious. I love them.
I only have 2. Don't worry, there won't be a third one.
I was gonna say, well, this guy keeps pulling dogs out of his pocket. And Matt, yes, I will drop that into the chat right now.
So 1 Zeta point and usage die of D8 for these explosives.
For the explosive damage, yeah.
Okay.
Great. Okay, cool. That is awesome. Let's cut to a montage scene of Lancer here. Lancer, describe what are you doing to keep people's spirits up, to inspire them? Go ahead and describe to me what that looks like.
Lancer pretty much stays at the bar and he drinks, but he doesn't get too over. He knows where to stop, more or less. He kind of sips. So like that one drink he'll take 2, and then that third drink lasts for 4 hours. It just never goes down. And then the fourth drink, then it gets, so he plays it. Greets people, trying to get people karaoke machines going or anything like that. By the second day, he tells people he's going to bring his guitar in, and he does bring the guitar, and he sets it on stage, and he puts a note, "Be happy or I will play." Oh, wait a minute. Then it's crossed out, "I will play to make you happy," and just kind of being that, hey, when someone comes in, Norm! Oh, wait a minute, your name's not Norm, but hey, Norm, welcome! Just kind of getting people probably more annoying than anything else, but by the third day, people are either they're so annoyed by him that they don't worry about anything else, all the hard work that they're doing.
They're like, the Neo Dominion can't be worse than that guy's guitar playing.
Yeah.
That's great. Go ahead and give me a presence check, if you would, please.
And here's the hilarious thing. My presence is not that great.
I feel like if you fail, you've kind of succeeded, though. I don't know.
See, that's kind of where it is.
Yeah.
Critical. So let's see where this goes. No, my dice are being very good. That's a 3, and I succeed.
All right, great. So, despite the kind of grating nature of your activities, maybe, the people come to really appreciate your presence on the station, keeping spirits up and giving them something else to think about as the day of reckoning draws nearer. So go ahead and give yourself a Zeta point, if you would, please, Lancer. And in addition to that, let me look at the mission here. You'll get advantage on a test at a certain point. Let me make a note of this. Don't let me forget. Advantage for Lancer during battle. You can basically, at any point during the battle, when you're fighting alongside civilians, you can gain advantage on a check and basically call in those favors for getting those people hyped and keeping their spirits high.
Okay.
All right, cool. I saw Gwen Reed, the writer of the mission, just pop back in the chat, and she said, "Pop back in. The explosive Deb has created. Ha ha ha! Wonderful." Okay, Silas, you're primarily helping the governor with the training of these civilians to defend the Kuro station, and so there's probably close to 24 people that have showed up, mostly younger people, but they kind of run the gambit, who are showed up and to volunteer to help defend the station. Some of them have military experience, some of them don't. Some of them have mecha experience, some of them don't, but all of them are willing to fight. And so you're going to help her out with some combat drills and training. What does that look like? Go ahead and describe your montage scene here as you help with that process.
Yeah, I'm going to start with a small personal scene and then fade into that.
Go for it,
but,
yeah.
we see old man Silas, or as he was remembered in his mercenary days, Lacuna Coil, in his full getup, staring at himself in this very long format mirror with his automaton co-pilot buzzing around. He's wearing that iconic charcoal mask, skeletal, that fur jacket, as well as the black suit in red tie. And he just says, "Does it look silly?" And the co-pilot just buzzes, "No, sir, you look dreadful. I am not programmed to lie, sir." And he just grunts in a robotic way. And we fast forward to him taking this small biplane in the habitable zone to this manufactured mountain, which was the governor's like crown achievement. And he takes a biplane into this small entrance, like almost at ground level. And then moments later, like as we fast forward through time, this gigantic hulking mecha just rips out of the mountain, sending like soot and debris everywhere. It's very metal. And then we, like as these kids are watching the footage of this and cheering, and all the like young soldiers or whatever, they start to rally around the idea of this person, and the Silas comes back to camp and starts to lead and starts to show them hand-to-hand combat, starts to actually spar with them in mech, and make them face something terrifying, because his mech is indeed something to be scared of. So really focused on battle hardening their minds.
Great. Okay, cool. What do you think? What kind of role would that be? Do you think in helping train these people?
It's not going to be in my benefit to suggest this, but I think presence.
Go for it.
I don't think anybody chose a task that they're suited to, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
No, it's perfect.
I rolled an 8. My presence is 12.
Yeah, great. Okay, cool. Zeta point for you. By the way, everyone would have got a Zeta point if you would have failed the check. The check is for that additional little.
Well, now I don't want my Zeta point because I was going to anyway.
It doesn't feel special at all. Like you got that. You got them poop explosives. I don't want to take those away. All right, so Silas, basically you've helped train these people and harden these people, and we get this very like Magnificent Seven Samurai like montage moment where we see like someone in a mech like try and like shoot with a welding beam like a crate off of another crate, and they just miss and like, you know, cut some important pipe, and it starts spewing steam and stuff. And then we get another shot where they do it again, and they like expertly just pop this crate right off the other crate, and they're like, yeah, and they like look at you for like approval, and you're just kind of like,
just deadpan.
Yeah.
Stone.
So he's like, okay, and he like goes to do it again. But these civilians, they're training, and they are starting to take a sense of pride in what they are accomplishing here and what they're going to do to try to defend their station. You almost feel this like this bittersweet sort of like pride yourself in your home and what these people have accomplished, but you know that it's all going to come crashing down here in a matter of days, a matter of hours at this point, when they realize the cost of what they're doing. But for now, you feel pride in what you've accomplished. Finally, Poe, Voodoo Raven, what are you spending your time doing? How do you prepare / improve the defensive situation here for the battle to come?
If it's possible, Poe has some items in his possession that are a little more on the alien side of the technology. And he would like to see if it's possible to incorporate it into either defenses or mechas or something to help
Yeah.
Out with that.
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead and tell me what you want to try and do.
Actually, he probably decides that he wants to help with the defenses of the station itself.
Okay,
more than
great.
More than the mechs themselves. And he's gonna see if he can install some of these, maybe shield technology or
Yeah.
those
turrets also have.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm sorry. There's also turrets on the station too.
Yeah, there are turrets, and yeah, shields would be good as well. So, yeah, whatever you want to do there.
I think he has a lot of because one of his modules is shield nodes.
Mhm.
So I figure he has some alien shield technology, and he's going to try
Totally.
to for the ship for the station itself to keep as many people safe as possible.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and I think it makes sense to maybe do a system check here to basically incorporate these a little bit more advanced, somewhat alien pieces of tech with the very rudimentary analog tech of the station itself. Let me know what you get.
A 2.
Wow, nice. Okay, great. You're all rolling really well. So Zeta point, first off, get a Zeta point. And secondly, let's go ahead and say that in addition to providing some fancy shielding to gain cover in the hangars, let's also say that you can. Let's say that you can maybe do your shield nodes at a further range that you would normally be able to. So remind me what the distance is on that.
It says close or near range.
Okay, let's extend it to far. Let's say that because you've installed these shielding modules like across the station, that you could basically activate your nodes and use them as you would at close or near range, but be able to do it at far range.
Sick. Very cool.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we see all of this happening, and then we, like all good pre-battle montages, it kind of fades out, and there's this silence. This, if we weren't in space, there would be and like tumbleweeds rolling by. Today is the day. You stand assembled in one of the hangars. The governor, along with the couple dozen fighters that have volunteered, are all assembled. The governor says, "We've received word. The Dominion fleet is en route. They'll be arriving soon. I would suggest that we wait until they get inside before we make our resistance known." She kind of looks to the assembled and then looks to you four and says, "I lack the words here. I have been done fighting for a long time. And I think today I need to heed words more than I need to give them. Do any of you have wisdom to share before we do this great and terrible thing?" And she kind of steps back.
Surprisingly, Poe steps up. Poe make friends. Poe protect friends. Friends fight together.
We see a shot of the assembled, and like one of them, like a tear is rolling down their cheek as you speak, Poe, just like so moved by these words that are coming out of this mask.
So I'm willing to, if possible, inspire them.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
Few words.
Yeah.
All right. So presence check.
Yeah.
Yep. 13. That's
Okay.
below the 18. Yeah.
Awesome. This inspiring speech has emboldened them. They stand a little bit taller. The governor kind of nods with this smile on her face to you, Poe, having probably heard, 5-6 words since she met you, and she nods to you. Right. Anyone else?
Lancer's looking around at everyone else, kind of seeing if anyone's taking the spot.
I imagine there's like as you're looking around, you like look and the camera focuses on like a guitar leaning up against the crate in the bar. Like, do I? Dare I?
Not really. He thinks about it for a second, and then he's just thinking to himself, is Mommy Mode gonna start talking? Do I want to talk before or after? Because he's got his internal nicknames for everyone already over this course. And then he's just like, yeah. Or old Gimpy. Is Gimpy gonna talk? No, Gimpy's not gonna talk. Maybe it's my turn. He's just kind of thinking to himself, and he's gonna wait until someone says something, and if no one says, then he's gonna jump in. So he's gonna wait for someone else to.
It's all yours.
And then suddenly no one's like, well, okay. Inspiring words, my friend. Yes. Well, most of you heard me talk most of the week. Some not so much. Some great. But all I have to say is, do it for the guitar, shoot straight, and stay alive. You can do it. Ding!
A couple
As
of
the
the
light shines off.
yeah, a couple of the assembled like give you they just like pump their fists in the air, getting ready, getting prepared. The governor looks around and says, let's do this. You know your places, you know your jobs. Let's go. Everyone kind of claps and heads off to get in their mecha, take up their positions, get ready. The four of you have a moment before you suit up here in the hangar. Is there anything you want to say or do before that happens?
I would look at them and say, all right, I know we've all been running around like chickens with their heads cut off, but there are key food crates that are filled with explosives. We need to find the right time to set those off. All right. Now, Alpha in there can hold the line pretty well, and hopefully we can get them all on me. I think. You've been all telling me a little bit over this past week about your frames, and it sounds like you've all got some good tech on your side there. If we can get behind them, maybe we might have a really good advantage against them.
Remember, that's my position. I'm going to be cloaked behind the door, so when they come in, I'll be able to jump behind them and surprise them with certain death. All right.
We should wait for the first round of explosives, perhaps, to charge in there before they know anything's off. Alpha will be inside of the in the old wagon there, and so that's my plan. I'm just gonna keep taking hits until I can't no more. All right. Thank you all. You've all been shown a lot of courage, just helping these people. It's there's a lot of, not just moms, there's dads, there's a lot of people out there that, there's a lot of brave kids that decided to put on, take on more than they should. And we owe it to their parents. We owe it to them for them to come back home. We don't want them to have to keep fighting the Dominion. This has to be the last fight. All right? So, I believe in all ya. Okay? So, be strong.
All right. Go for it.
The ever silent old Silas takes it all in, breathes gravelly and slightly strange sounding grimace, and turns on a heel, his massive fur cloak just flapping like a royal flag or something ridiculous. He points at Deb and says grimly with his skeleton mask, "Don't die." And he just walks off briskly towards his station and his mecha. And he says distantly, when he's almost completely out of earshot, "And neither of you die either."
Heard that. Thank you.
Well, he's just such a nice. He's such a bundle of joy, ain't he?
He's got the heart inside. It's encased in something, but there's some cushy heart inside.
I don't know who put scorpions in his underwear this morning. I don't know, but he's.
It's just probably his morning routine.
I was gonna say crabs, but that's a whole other connotation, and it just felt, I'm getting in trouble all the time for embarrassing Shelly and Shane, and I just didn't want to do that to you. It seemed, I gotta know. Okay, well, I just realized now's the time to stop. I gotta go say, hopefully not goodbye for the last time to my family. And you two there, Corbin, Poe. You take care of yourself. That was a moving speech, real moving. And she just walks on up. By the way, do you need anything? Can I get you? I've got juice packs. I've got orange slices. I've got there's snacks that you need before we start. You got to make sure now. And if you need to go to the bathroom, now's the time, because you think you don't have to go, but you're gonna have to go while you're in the middle of a fight, and very inconvenient. Okay.
Chocolate milk boxes. Do they still keep the chocolate milk boxes?
Yeah, but it's from some kind of weird bio-manufactured sort of milk. Yeah. But it's good.
Okay, see ya. I'll see you later. Thank you.
And when you say that, Poe removes a canister from the side of his suit and say, "Waste empty," and he turns upside down. There's nothing, and then he puts it back.
I need one of those for my kids. My God, jeez. I don't say this a lot about Shane, but he was wetting his bed for a long. Mom, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm coming. And she heads off.
There's a shot that precedes the coming of the Neo Dominion, where we see everyone sitting in their cockpits, and there's just the hum of mecha reactors, and we see these young kids sitting in cockpits that are little more than roll cages, just bars in front of them in these mecha that are designed to pick up and move heavy things. We see in the silence, one of them picks up a juice box and takes a sip out of it and sets it back down as they prepare for this battle. Let me get a sense for so you're all in this hangar. massive hangar. There's plenty of places to hide, plenty of cover, in addition to these shields that can spring up that Poe put down. But there's essentially this kind of rectangular entrance with a shield over it where the Neo-Dominion is going to enter, in addition to potentially 2 fire teams outside that are going to wait at those auxiliary bays. So let me get a sense for where you all are, or basically what kind of position you want to take up before you spring this trap. We'll go ahead and go just in the order that we've had here. So Aaron, go ahead and tell me where Deb's going to be.
So the beach umbrellas and everything have been moved out of the way, and so she's kind of like sweating heavily in this like really cramped compartment as like Colossus Alpha is like folded up, and is ready to just like hit her. She has her hair. She's got like some sensors that she's like reading from like some like footage inside of the hangar. She's got a key fob in one hand, and a detonating device in another hand, and she is ready to spring out of that Space Winnebago the moment that the explosives go off.
Don't get the key fob and the detonator mixed up.
Not since last Thanksgiving.
Oh my god. Okay, all right. What about Lancer? Where is the Ace of Spades gonna be before the trap is sprung?
So I envision where the main cargo or hangar door that they come into,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be up on top,
Ooh,
and with
cool.
his cloaking device
Yep.
activated. So just before they're getting there, so he's not going to be using, and he's just going to sit there. So as they walk past, he's just going to, that anticipation of like, I'm going to go. No, not yet. Oh, no. Okay, wait a minute. Oh yeah, I gotta wait for the explosion, and then just kind of wait there and just watch. And as they walk, just grin, like this is just, they're dead. He's just like, they're gone. And he's like, I wonder how many can I get it in one, or how many hits will it take to get to the center of the
Right.
back of, and just watch them and just sit there. And then when the trap is sprung, jump from behind and death from above.
Awesome. Okay, great. Silas, where is Skeleton Kiss going to be situated here in the hangar?
There is so the hybrid mecha is truly massive and monstrous. So there is a custom hangar commissioned by the governor and Silas, which was paid for by most of his mercenary salary, was built to house and also defend using his mecha. So he launches from this specialized hangar that is clearly built just for the skeleton Kiss. And yeah, what you see when the lights actually project over the mecha is this gaunt wraith-like face with what looks almost like a clenched jaw, all of it made of metal. Overhanging the shoulders and backpack are these 4 maneuvering binders, and each with a skull-like molding in the alloy. And while the entirety of the mecha is bone white, the forearms, which expand into these massive rending claws that they are a powerful like solar orange, and they radiate this like deadly message. This mecha rips through this catapult, and you just see it. It's almost like it's like swimming or like clawing its way to something as it's being fired out like a cannon. And then you see all of the people that were trained by Silas, old man Silas, just launching in their individual mechs slowly, some in sequence, some by now promoted and captains of squads.
Killer. Awesome. So you're going to be outside the hangar.
Yeah, I'm going to like launch right at them like a bullet.
Oh, so you want to be ready to go when they get there and launch at them. Is
Like
that what you're saying?
reckless.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Like distractingly so.
Yeah. Cool. All right, and finally, Poe, where do you want to be located for when the battle happens?
He's going to be inside the hangar at the very back, so he can get a good lay of he doesn't want to be noticed right away if they make it in here. And his mecha looks very odd. It's custom built, even though he has that advanced tech with the shield nodes. This mecha looks like it's cobbled together with just some basic it's just cobbled together maybe from a part of a loader mech and some other stuff just retrofitted. And inside the reinforced cockpit there's two green glowing eyes inside there, and he actually does a partial power down, and the mech basically sits back down after he's gone through a system check.
Awesome. Okay, great. So just going over before we start here, Deb, you're in the Winnebago. That'll put you like near distance from that hangar door. Lancer, you're going to be above the hangar door, which will put you close to it, obviously. You're going to be right above it, hidden. Silas, you're going to be launching out of the hangar toward them whenever you want to do that. And then Poe in the Voodoo Raven, you're going to be at the back of the hangar. I'm going to say far from the hangar door. Does that work for everybody? Cool.
Yeah.
So there's this there's no sound in space, but there's a heavy kind of vibration that happens as this Neo-Dominion cruiser comes out of a fulcrum jump and just kind of appears with energy crackling along its surface from this jump as it arrives. It's almost as big as the station itself, this massive cruiser. And almost as soon as it comes out of this fulcrum jump, you see glimmering sort of engine trails from thrusters as Mecha disembark from the cruiser and fan out and begin coming toward this hangar. There's a message that goes out on all of the comms. You hear the governor's voice. Here they come. Easy. Easy. Wait until they get inside. Easy. And there are two teams that split off from this group of mecha that come out of the cruiser. One kind of goes up and another kind of goes down. Likely going to cover different points of the station itself. And there are four that enter through this energy shield into the hangar itself. The four mecha that come inside, they are indeed top of the line, very knightly in their appearance. This kind of like heavy plated armor. The plates sort of fit over each other, and each mecha, except for the one in the lead, is carrying this massive shield and carrying these weapons called bolt throwers, which are essentially these like very futuristic looking crossbows designed to hurl these explosive bolts, incredibly high speeds, designed specifically to puncture mecha armor. The one in the lead, though, is seemingly unarmed. It's the same sort of style, same chassis. It has this like green, royal green paint on the plates itself, each mech emblazoned with the sigil of the Dominion. And these four mechs enter, and the one in the lead kind of comes stomping forward, and the governor is standing there with a couple of attendants by her sides. And over the loudspeakers of this mecha, in the name of the Neo-Dominion, We stake a claim here on Kuro Station and demand to be refueled and refitted. Do you submit to our terms? The governor, standing there, looks to her left, looks to her right. She looks up at the Neo-Dominion Mecha and says, "No!" The Neo-Dominion Mecha almost like kind of looks at the other and says, "Very well, we will take it by force." And the governor says, "Now!" And as she says that, yeah.
Click!
As she says this, one of Poe's shields springs up in front of her, protecting her from any sort of reprisal as the shield goes up. And you all have the drop on these guys, and so I will allow you to act in whatever order you choose. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I basically just clicked both fobs at the same time. So I set off the explosions, and then I open up the back of the Winnebago, and as soon as and then the idea being that whatever explosion happens to these guys, or however it messes them up, hopefully there are like crates next to them. What they will see as the like incendiary just gases and as the fire and the smoke clears, they're just going to see a colossus of metal standing in front of them.
Awesome. So why don't you go ahead and roll the D8 for that explosive damage? Let me know what you get.
3.
3. Okay, awesome.
I'll let you describe the
Yes,
aftermath
the
of that.
explosion goes off, and while you don't destroy any of them outright, each of them are forced to like bring up their shields and kind of take up defensive formation. And the one in the front kind of staggers forward, seemingly unarmed still, and unable to take part in this shield wall that's kind of coming together behind him. So you're able to take your actions here, Colossus.
So, like I said, as the smoke clears, this absolutely massive hunk of metal stands in front of them. What looks to be like one giant arm. There's you see that on the back there is this like heavy double-barreled gun, sort of up, kind of creating these almost looks like horns on the thing, or like actually they look like pauldron spikes, but they're actually just the barrels of this giant heavy gun. It is scarred. It is like this sort of tan and brown thing that where the scars are, you see this shining metal underneath. It has a massive like it's got just like the most cut jawline on its face, and there is a very few distinctions between just like the main body and the legs. It's just all just like a big pillar of metal. The light goes on, and sort of this hazy green light shows up in the one eye of the mech, lifts up an arm, and this massive arm drops out a cylinder, and she picks up the thing picks up the cylinder, which has to be wielded with two hands, and it almost has the look of like mechanical sci-fi, like all these like different parts and like just like all fitted on top of each other, like screwed together, just kind of like a kit bash sort of situation.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's almost like it's like a kit bash like baseball bat that's got like barbed wire at the end of it, but the barbed wire is a chain blade. It's these blades on a rotating like chainsaw blade, and she wields it, and she holds it up, and she says, "Go to your room," and she will enter into battle mode. So this is a new thing for the Colossus.
Yeah.
Essentially, what happens here, if I can find my character sheet, that would be real great. Okay, here we go. So it's a use action. I'm gonna do 1d4 more damage and take that much less damage. I have disadvantage on mobility checks, and I can end it with a use action. And so I'm just going to this head guy right in the head with this chain them all, and is that going to be like a power check on my end? So not used to hitting things from paladins.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. I was gonna say you don't usually attack. Yeah, so power is for attacking.
Great. So I did a power. I mean, I got a 5. I hit. And let me just see how my chain blade works one more time. So for the chain blade, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to damage the enemy, and that's in my hit and I use my damage die for that. Correct?
Yep. Yeah, just your standard damage die, which for the Colossus I think is insane.
It's a D8. Yeah. So I got 8. I got my max. I have to do my reactor die for the battle mode. Okay, I'm good there. And then so first it's first 8 damage. Now I'm adding a D4 damage. It's an additional 2 damage. And then with the chain blade, because I damaged the enemy, I'm going to choose to roll your reactor die. If you do deal your damage a second time. So I'm going to roll my reactor die, which is
this is gonna hurt.
D6. Still in it. And I still rolled a D4, right?
Yeah.
4. Okay.
Yep.
So that's going to be an additional 8 damage. And basically what that looks like is that I hit the thing, and it kind of gets lodged in this thing's neck. And then you see, and there's probably like a bit of as it kind of doesn't necessarily like crack anything, this head guy inside of this suit probably just goes ha 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 ha. And then what Colossus Alpha does is that pulls a ripcord at the back of this bat.
Yeah.
And it just starts whirring against his mech. And as you mentioned earlier in chat, I emulsify him with my immersion blender.
Yes. So you do this, and it shreds the plating on this mecha, and there are these little pops of explosions as you kind of like rupture fuel lines and stuff. It's like, and you kind of like drive this mecha to the ground, and by the time the blender is done whirring, there's like nothing left. Like this thing has just been shredded into pieces and flung all across the hangar, and the mecha behind it with the shields like bring their shields up, and there's pieces of their commanding mecha like pinging off of the shields as you do this. So you did enough damage to take one of these guys out, so there are 3 remaining here in the hangar.
Okay.
Nicely done. Who's up next? Do we just want to go in the order that's down here on the overlay, or Matt, you want to go because you're gonna fly towards them?
Yeah, so following shortly after Deb, this skeletal ghoul of a mech just comes barreling forward, and as soon as it gets into which is like relatively easy until I get into far range, the mech will blast forward, and then when it gets into far range, its feet will kick up and just kind of push back ever so slightly as it just settles in there and draws from its back this massive, like Final Fantasy VII long and ridiculous bazooka.
Yeah.
And it just you just see in multiple languages on the screen, it just says linear bazooka, and it just like bucks for a second in like mid-air as it like takes it off its feet, and it just fires an artillery shot at the group. And I will do that. I've never used artillery, but here we are. Mission manual material.
Yes. Putting it to the test.
All right, we are good on the attack. So that means 2 damage die, and I have a filthy one.
That's right. Oh, the hybrid has the D10, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh god, that's just not cool of me to do.
Okay, so that's moderate. 14 damage.
14. Okay. So this explosion goes off from this shell that just, and I can hear it. Like I know the sound that the shell makes as it like goes in and then hits. And there's just this concussive blast and this heat that comes off, and everybody nearby gets a klaxon warning on their HUD from this explosion going off. And as the dust and fire clears, you just see one of the mechs, their shield is completely shattered off of their arm. And you see like wires and stuff hanging out of one of these mechs that just got hit sort of point blank with this thing, looking like it's on its last legs, but still standing.
Awesome. And I'm going to use another effect that we custom made for this game.
Yeah.
With my spheroid co-pilot. So basically, anytime I do damage or receive damage, I can roll my reactor for a free move action, and I will do so.
Great.
We're good. So basically, we flash into the cockpit, and you see that hovering mech, spherical, that cycloptic mono eye, just kind of annoying old man Silas, and then it finally rests down into its like kind of slot in the cockpit. It was specially made for this machine, and it just says, "Your material body is degrading, sir. If you connect with your chassis again, there's a 100% chance of fatality." Fatality, not vitality. But
The opposite.
And the skeletal mask wearing old man just muses on this and says, "Shut up, co-pilot." And the poorly treated Mecha understands this, unfortunately, as a sign of affection, and that is just his unfortunate way, and he accepts his fate as he hits the throttle. And using the effect, I get a free move action, so I move closer to the enemy.
Great. Awesome. Okay, who's up next? Is it going to be Ace of Spades or Voodoo Raven?
Voodoo, take it away, because, I got something up my sleeve.
How far away is the Ace of Spades from Raven?
Ace of Spades is far, yeah, from you.
So to get closer, I just need one.
Yeah, with one move, you'd be near to him.
Okay, actually, far works. So Voodoo Raven just stands up, and he he activates the shield nodes.
Ooh, yeah.
And one close to Ace of Spades. Let's see. Activates. Well, actually, that's at the end of the turn. So let me phrase. So all the shield nodes just start activating all over. So all these lights just start popping on all these little shield nodes all over the hangar and elsewhere. And then these tentacles pop out. Now, hold on. Names. So Deborah's. So Colossus Alpha. Is that within near range?
Yes.
Then what happens is, so one of these tentacles
Or
flies
no.
out. No?
Sorry. Colossus moved and is fighting those mechas, so Colossus is actually far from you as well.
Okay, then I'm actually going to make so as stands up and takes a step forward and moves a step closer to the combat. And then at the end of the round, one of those shield nodes fires a beam of energy at Ace of Spades, and you get +3 mobility. And bonus lasts until the end of, I guess, my next turn.
Yep, correct.
And now I get to roll a reactor die, but I am going to activate my Geist system, and instead of rolling my reactor die, I get to test presence. And that's a success. And yeah, so instead of using extra power, I get. How did you envision that, Matt?
The Geist system or the shield
Yes.
nodes?
The Geist system.
So specifically, it's you're integrated with your mech, and so it's essentially the idea is you can just use your sheer force of will and personality to like power the reactor. If I know that sounds weird, but it's very like Gundam, like Psycho Frame, new type. Like I'm just going to use my heart and my soul to like push through this and do something remarkable. So essentially, you're using yourself as the reactor of the mecha.
Right. Oh, so he already had a 19, so I guess he doesn't need the plus. Okay. Can I
You can
that?
change it.
You can
Yeah,
change
okay.
it, please.
Yeah,
Please.
yeah.
So what happens is instead of this shield node activating near you, it does activates near you and gives you a +1. Colossus Alpha gets a shield node powering her mecha for a +1, and is Skeleton Kiss within far range?
Yes.
And then he gets the additional +1. I believe this 3. Each ally. So do the other mechas count as allies for this?
I'm gonna have to reword that module. No, I will say that it's everybody on your fire team, but not necessarily anyone who's allied with you.
Okay, that's fine. I was just wondering.
That's a
But
great
yeah,
question. Yeah,
So the 3 of them each get a +1 to mobility.
great. Yeah, so basically, until the start of Paul's next turn, everybody you get to increase your mobility by 1 with the
At
shield
end.
node.
I think it's at the end, isn't it? Till the end of my next turn when I reactivate it again.
Yes. Yep. Until the end of your next turn. Yeah. Great. Okay. Cool. So the Winnebago gets +1 mobility. It definitely does. It's going to be it has 3 right now, so it sorely needs it. And I believe that was 2 actions for you, Voodoo Raven. So that brings us to Jay, Ace of Spades. Go ahead. Your turn.
So I'm picturing the non-copyrighted hunter, you know, that invisibility
Yep.
type cloaking shimmer as
Mhm.
it's sitting up there as everyone's walking. Things just kind of go off, and then suddenly everything just, the nodes go off, everyone's, he's just waiting, and then just jumps off and just dives right as the sword comes out in his hand and just comes back while they're focusing on I referred to as Captain Awesome, but or mommy mode. As all the attention is brought, he comes in from behind and just takes one from behind and kind of slides into the superhero landing as he stands right next to two of them. But as he kind of comes down, he's slicing into one of them. So it's a movement action, I believe, to get to there.
Yep.
And then it's going to be an attack action just from hidden, so I have an advantage on my roll.
You have advantage, yep, and you get that extra damage with your ambush as well.
Yes, and we're going to be doing this. I got to succeed first, but we'll see about this. That is a success because it is a power attack, but it is a success on that. So I'm going to do this recklessly as well. So because I'm now in the and drawing their attention and go, hello boys, Daddy's here to play. Whoosh. And I have a 3d6 points of damage coming on one of them, which is going to be 13 points of damage to one of the mechs as I slice into him from behind.
Great. Awesome. So you don't quite take one of them out, but you this mecha has to take a knee as you slash into it. These cables come loose and start spewing fuel and stuff as this mecha goes down, completely caught unawares by this sneak attack that you've just engaged here. That's your two actions, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Good job. Okay. Bad guys get to go now. So we're going to... sorry, I have 38,000 tabs open. So I'm going to need... Let's see, there's 3 of these guys left. Colossus, definitely, either mobility or power. And then Ace, mobility or power. Obviously mobility, it's going to be.
Obviously mobility. He
So
is
go
just
ahead
a dodgy ninja.
Yeah, go ahead and roll to make sure you don't roll a 20, I guess, because you have that +1 mobility. So just make sure you don't roll a critical miss and you'll be good. And then let's roll to see. Actually, no, I think that Skeleton Kiss is very obviously the more clear and present threat to these guys. So I will need a mobility check from you, Skeleton Kiss. Okay.
10 and my mobility is 15.
Okay, success for you. Colossus, how are we looking on your check? Are you good?
I'm so sorry. I was playing house with the
listen.
with the mechs. I'm very.
I don't want to detract from the importance of what you were doing because it was very critical that we nail all of that down.
I'm so sorry. Okay, that's not great. I got a 20. With my so that's
I would
fine.
like to use my inspiration Zeta point for mommy mode to re-roll her mobility, please.
How do
you
you
see,
inspire me?
With a Zeta point, you cannot re-roll a check, but only a reactor roll or a damage die.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't
Sorry.
mind getting hit.
Sorry.
I don't mind getting hit.
Yeah. So, and then I'm going to assume that you didn't roll a 20 on your check there, Ace of Spades.
That's correct. I did succeed.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Great.
So you know, I rolled a 2. I'm reducing this damage by 2 when it comes.
Okay. Cool. Noted. So here comes a Lodium broadsword. Do I really not have a D8 in this dice tray? I have I have a D12 that's actually a D4, but I don't have a D8. So let's go ahead and just... Okay. So with that crit, I'm dealing double damage. So that's going to be 12 damage coming at you. So reduced by 2, so 10 total coming at you there, Colossus Alpha.
Fine. I'm going to use my... So the Lodium sword gets stuck in my plating, and my exothermic plating absorbs the shock, and then just there is a big burst of heat, dealing 3 damage right back.
That's enough to drop another one of these from the damage that they took before. So this Dominion Knight, this Neo Knight that was struck previously by Skeleton Kiss's bazooka, just barely hanging on wires coming out of his face and stuff. It strikes with this Lodium broadsword, and the heat travels up the sword, and it just like turns to slag. Like, I don't know if any of you have seen Escaflowne, but when the enemy mechs die in that, they like melt and then turn into fire. That's kind of what happens. Like, it sort of turns molten and just turns into slag on the floor, and there's these like explosions that pop off. And then there's bolts that come flying at you, Skeleton Kiss, but you manage to, with your speed and maneuverability, you just dodge out of the way as they come flying past, and they sort of embed themselves in the wall and pop off behind you.
I imagine the mech like moving like really like erratically and spastically.
Yeah.
And that, like catches them off.
And like not mechanical enough. Like, it has this very like uncanny valley, like it's kind of moving like a person, or like an animal, which is very like strange to look at. Very Evangelion, legally dissimilar to Evangelion. Okay, so that was the bad guys. The over the comms, you hear the governor say, "It's going well, but there's more inbound. Prepare yourselves. We've got breaches in the auxiliary bays. I'm dispatching the civilians to try and hold them off. Hold them there as long as you can. We're working on it." You hear the turrets on the station activate and begin firing, and they're sort of firing salvos at this cruiser that has now maneuvered itself to come broadsides with the station. And in response to those turrets firing, you see flashes of energy across the hull of the cruiser as it fires off this artillery barrage. Everybody give me a mobility test, please. And you can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down based on whether you succeed or not. Ooh, uh-oh.
Now, I will not be doing a mobility check.
Oh, this guy's using strange empathy.
And I use strange empathy, yes, and I succeed.
Okay, great. So anyone who succeeded, you're going to take 7 damage. Anyone who failed, you're going to take 7 damage. Anyone who succeeded, you're going to take 3.
I'm reducing that by 4.
Okay, cool. So this bombardment comes in and just starts shredding up the hangar. There are these explosions that go off, and most of the damage that you're sustaining is actually from like debris that's flying at you and clashing with the outer hulls of your mecha. Okay, let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Nope, we're good. Okay, so there are 2 mecha remaining, more inbound, according to the governor. This cruiser outside is bombarding, and we apparently have 2 more fire teams of enemy mecha entering through the auxiliary hangar bays. We're back up at the top of the initiative. If we want to go in the same order, that would be Colossus Alpha up first.
Okay. So Deb has just destroyed this thing and is being now just battered as like one, leaves a giant.
Can I interrupt? Sorry. I would like to go first, if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
Because I am within close range now of Colossus Alpha.
Correct. Yep.
What I choose to do, Mike, within close or near range with everybody?
Yeah, you are within close or near of everybody, yes.
Okay. So first thing I do, so now one of these tentacles comes flying out and attaches to Colossus Alpha, and there's a power transfer over. And you now have a D6 that you can subtract from a single attack roll or test made to avoid damage.
So that's a D6 against the damage or the actual mobility test?
It's the test. So
The test, okay.
yeah, basically you roll the test, and then if you want to use that support die, you can just roll it and reduce your initial roll by whatever you roll on the D6.
That'll be.
It's like a reverse bardic inspiration die. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I will need to roll my reactor die, but I am going to use my presence for that. And that is a success.
These new chassis are cheater. They're cheap. They're like, I don't want to roll my reactor die. I'm going to do something else.
But I am actually going to reinforce again for my second action. I'm going to reinforce Ace of Spades. And now you also gain the D6 to subtract from a single attack roll or test to avoid damage.
Okay.
So
That means
just check.
double reactor roll for you, Paul, with that, because you're doing the same action twice.
Exactly.
Cool.
I cannot do Strange Empathy again, because that's once per moment. But so reactor die. Oh, I forgot to take out the D8.
D8s, they're very elusive today.
Apparently, D8s are in. We got a D8 shortage in this country.
I couldn't find one for a while today. I'm not joking.
So a 5 is
So
fine.
funny. Just like an imp running around stealing all of the D8s. I don't know what it is.
So I got a 5 and a 6. My two
Okay.
rolls.
Yeah, you're good.
So yeah, the two tentacles fly out. One for Colossus Alpha and a second one for Ace of Spades, and you get a nice jolt of power to one of your subsystems there.
Cool. Awesome. Cool. Now, Colossus Alpha, if you want to go, you can. You've got that additional support now from Voodoo.
So I'm just getting like banged up. I've destroyed 2 of them. I think there are people here that are much more capable. Yes. Yes,
Sorry,
bro.
I forgot about the shield nodes.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that would end the shield nodes. Hang on.
Oh, would it? No. It says if I. Oh, I know it has to downgrade. So I mean, I can activate my shield nodes.
You can just do it again at the end of your turn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only when the reactor die downgrades that I have to
Right.
come back
Yeah.
in. So I will give. Actually, I will give Colossus Alpha the +3 this time.
Dang.
Thank you.
Plus
This
3
is-
no mobility.
Now I'm at a whole 13 now. with all
Holy
this help.
shit. What are you going to do with all that mobility?
Not much. I'm also rolling with disadvantage. Anyway, she realizes that though there are other problems and there are fires to put out, there are faster people in this team to go deal with those things. Quick question about the explosives.
Yeah.
Are those explosives of a one-time hit? Are those
You
still
can
there
keep
as long
doing
as-
them until they're gone. Until
as
that
part of
die downgrades all the way, you can do it as part of your turn, yeah.
Would that be part of it as a use action?
No, you know what? I'll say that you can, like, either just do it for free or tack it onto, like, an attack if you wanted to just do additional damage with an attack.
All right. What I would like to do is I would like to throw these explosives actually over to the auxiliary hangars. I would like send a message to set those explosives off now, and hopefully that gives some aid to the people
Perfect.
in those auxiliary hangars.
Yeah, no, that's great. Go ahead and roll that D8 for me.
7.
Okay.
So it's still up. And now I'm going to go into barricade mode. So not only am I in battle mode, so now what happens is that basically the front like chest plate of my mech basically falls to the floor with a ka-toom, and then it like unfolds, and then it unfolds again to create this just like massive like shield in front of me And anybody in need of cover, I think they might be going after Silas. So I will grant cover to Silas and myself. I cannot move, so I'm hunkering down and I'm just taking the hits at this point. Yes, I have to roll my reactor die. Still good. I rolled a 2, but I'm too old for this shit. So I feel the reactor starting to, and I said, "Not today!" And I slam this part, and it just stops as I use my mommy voice on it, and you. So I'm reducing damage by half. I'll get to that if I take damage, and so that's my use action. And I'm now just going to hit again at the nearest mech enemy. So power 5, it's great. And I'm going to roll damage. It's only a 1, but I'm going to use my use my reactor again for the chain blade. I rolled a 6 on a d6 for the chain blade. So what that means is that the Colossus has a little thing called the kinetic reactor. So when I hit this like chamber for this reactor, it kind of sputters and it leaps, arcing off energy, which then shoots at a close mech. So the one that I'm hitting is there's so much. Hold on. So
this is turned into a game of Calvin Ball, where it's like, I rolled a 6, and that means
I'm playing a European board game with my Colossus, and it's this is untenable. I love it's nothing against the game or the mission manual. Okay, so I can damage a closer near enemy. I forget how much I damage it by. Oh dang.
Hang on, I have one of my tabs is the new chassis. I can look.
Thank you.
Where are you, Colossus?
I have a feeling it's the amount I rolled on the reactor die, but I could be wrong.
So which one? The kinetic?
If you roll the maximum result on a reactor die roll, you can choose to roll your damage die and deal that damage to a close or near enemy.
I'm just going to tell you how much damage I've done in all, because this is also on top of the chain blade.
This is absurd.
I know.
No, it's great. It is absurd, but it's great.
I did 18 damage altogether. After sparks flying off of me. This thing shouldn't work, but it is working, and it's actually doing damage. And I'm just also like revving up my chain blade and just destroying this thing, all behind this massive shield.
That is amazing. Yeah, that is enough to take another one of these guys out. Again, just melting, just breaking apart, pieces flying. So there's one of these guys left. I do want to say it is so funny. So the last week we had a Colossus player as well, and they also did 2 modes. They had the battle mode, and then they also did vehicle mode. So they would go into battle mode and then just be floating around as like a vehicle in space. And it was ridiculous. Yeah. So that is very fun. Okay, awesome. So Voodoo and Colossus have gone. I believe Skeleton Kiss would be next, and then Ace of Spades.
Go for it.
Is the last one there in near range? Since I took that boost at the end of my turn?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Sorry, I had to really think about it. And then I said it weird.
I moved, and then I got an extra move action.
Yes, so it is within near range for sure.
Right on. As it gets closer and closer and closer, we zoom back into the cockpit, and you see that mask shift ever so slightly towards co-pilot, and he just says, "You are my longest friend." Very plainly and flat, but meaningful. And it says, the machine just buzzes back. I know, sir. And he just fucking hits the throttle and goes full metal, alchemist vibes, but kind of as the Evangelion-esque, just demonic mech gets smashed by this like stray rubble, and takes that damage. And when it does, it doesn't seem like it affects the armor at all, but the alloy seems to flex. And like the 360 degree display inside the cockpit lunges. And in between the panels, in the cracks, it's as if what we see behind them is breathing muscle tissue. Just this like deep red, kind of terrifying thing to see between the panels of your panoramic monitor. And he just reaches back and finally connects this cord to the back of his neck and gets fully pulled into the machine and just rips forward. The arms lunge forward and detach from the elbows, and you just see this like blood-like ichor drip from the mech as these arms like fucking slink out on these wires and just shoot out towards that last mecha. And yeah, that's basically why I picked that chassis.
No kidding.
It's a fucking cool vibe.
Yeah.
All right, so I rolled a 9, so that passes on a power, but I'm using what I'm doing actually, sorry, it was not an attack, but grapple. Same roll. Power. So I'm bringing them closer while dealing a d4 of damage doing so that fucking claw just yanks the mecha and just rips it forward. I rolled a 4, so that's some good damage.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, does that do it?
That will do it.
Okay, so and I will so I have to roll a reactor die real quick. Okay, we're good. God damn, D6 is scary.
It really is, and it's extra scary with the hybrid.
Well, that's the thing is, if I'm within range, I can roll it for you. If you're within near range.
Right on. Okay, that's good to know.
Are you within range of another one?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the last one.
That's the last one in the hangar at the moment.
Basically, I'm going to use my other ability with my other action, which is Dismantler Arms, just from the mission manual. So I pull it forward with this claw, these orange, like hot, as bright as the sun, heated claws just rip into this mech and pull it forward. And pieces of it are being flayed away as it's being yanked closer to the skeleton kiss. And when it's finally in range, it just seems to like pulse on the arm, and all of the power leaves the mecha that it's holding onto, and it just tears it apart as all of its shields and armor functions start to shut down. And I will use the ability that comes with Dismantler Arms, which is I get its hit dice back in AP, and I lost AP, so this is effective mechanics.
Oh, that's very cool. The Dismantler Arms, I'm very excited to see someone use those.
Grappler and Dismantler Arms are the perfect pair.
That's kind of a killer combo. Yeah, that's great. You're just like, come here. I'm going to take pieces and put them on myself.
That's it.
That's killer. Very cool.
My version is just power based, and you just see the muscles on this like kind of like shattered armor of this mech just kind of flex and get bigger, Hulk out. And that is my AP growing back to its normal state.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay, so Ace of Spades. So there are no mecha left in the hangar, but there's the cruiser outside, and there are the 2 auxiliary hangars that are currently being attacked. What would you like to do on your turn?
So as everyone dispatches everyone, he's like, right, you've got this, and turns around and is looking at one of the auxiliary hangars and looks over at Voodoo and is like, it's time to go invisible, and hits his cloak. And then just as he hits his cloak, Voodoo, would you mind rolling a reactor die for me, please?
I would love to. What's the number you don't want to roll?
1 or a 2. Womp,
I
womp,
rolled
womp.
a 1.
Is this is a Zeta point
You
possibility?
can use a Zeta point here. Yep.
Since I looked over at him and I'm going, because I know he's like, hit me up, juice me up, boy, juice
Yeah.
me up. Just as and I suddenly my cloak went up and then it just went down like roo, 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 like Millennium Falcon went roo, roo, roo.
So, as you're fading away, one of these tentacles flies out towards you, and as your reactor starts to, your power level starts to drop a little,
Mm-hmm.
there is a sudden pulse of energy, and you're charged back up.
Awesome.
Then I got a 6 this time.
Good. Awesome.
So, I cloak and then I run. My next act just run full speed towards the auxiliary. Says, I've got the side one. Don't worry, guys, I'm coming. The guitar's waiting for you.
Okay, awesome. So you're full bolt running out toward the other hangars. I'll say that you're able to get there with your 2 actions, so you'll start there on your next turn. You'll be in that hangar.
Actually, I only have one because it is an action to cloak.
But no, he got a burst of speed. I'm using my Zeta.
Oh,
These guys
For you
are
to
throwing
get
Zeta
closer.
points around.
got it.
Okay,
so
cool.
yeah. And he
You
just
boom,
takes
you book
off.
it. Yep. And actually, because he's doing 2 move actions in a row, he's gonna need to roll his reactor again.
Ooh. All right, and this is going to be farther away though.
Yeah.
But
So
I
I
will. Oh, we are too far away now.
Too far away. That's okay because the thing about Ace of Spades is that he's got a larger chest. He's a very sleek mech. I mean, like we're talking like that very, very small, sleek ninja-esque, dark plated with some fins and stuff like that. But he has a larger chest because he has an over super reactor put in.
Yeah.
So as one of his modes. So I roll a D8 instead of.
It's okay. We could always use our Zeta points on this too. We could just use all of our Zeta points on this one move.
I'm good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Good.
Okay, great. So that's good teamwork, everybody, using those Zeta points. So Ace of Spades is now in the auxiliary hangar. So you like run through this corridor, and there's actually like a small lift up to the auxiliary hangar, and you get into this lift and fire some thrusters, and just you sort of land, still cloaked, inside the hangar, and you see inside this hangar there are Neo-Dominion forces clashing with the labor mecha that have been kind of retrofitted and outfitted with different weapons. And you see the governor herself is here in one of these mecha fighting, and she has this like welding beam and like a claw, and she's like cuts one of the enemy mech's arms off with a welding beam, and then grabs the arm and swings it around with this claw and just whacks the Neo-Dominion mecha in the face, and it just shatters this visor. Glass goes everywhere as she smashes this mecha with its own arm, and then continues fighting. But you can see that they are taking casualties. There are labor mecha that are getting cut down and shot down, and there are explosions going off. So you've arrived seemingly just in time. We are back with the bad guys. Everyone in the primary hangar is fine, and Ace is invisible, but the cruiser, let's see if it's gonna bombard again. Oh, actually, is that on a recharge? Nope, it just does it. Okay, awesome. So I need everyone to give me a mobility check, please, as they bombard the station again.
There are so many modifiers I have to take.
Anyone who fails is going to take 9. Anyone who succeeds is going to take 4.
So here's the fucking thing, okay? So, what does cover do for me?
So cover gives you advantage on mobility to avoid damage.
But I also get disadvantage because
they negate each other, and you just roll normal.
All right. So don't forget that Silas has cover. Okay. So although this shit that people did to make me more fast, I got up to 13. I still roll with disadvantage. Okay, I got a 3. Wonderful. But then I got a 13. But I'm still okay because I believe. Did
I reinforce you?
Poe gave me a D6 and I rolled a 1. So I got 12. So I just made it under the wire. I am just like ducking behind my shield. I am stuck to the ground because of my barricade mode, and just as this thing is walking towards me, I just go down and hope for the best.
There's something very like old-timey operator switchboard about you doing all of that to avoid that damage. Like it's just so perfect. Like you're just like there, I did it.
And all it did was
yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you succeeded, so you only take 4 damage instead of 9.
And I get half damage, and I subtract that damage. Okay, it doesn't matter. My battle mode subtracted that by 4. So fuck that damage. Take it back, Dominion.
So you didn't actually move, hit away. It's just you got hit.
Basically, what I did is I caught
blow.
the thing, and I just put it down, and I said, "No, off the couch."
Yes. Okay. Amazing. So it looks like everyone succeeded. So everyone's just going to take that 4 damage, except for Colossus Alpha, who negated all of it through sheer force of having a bunch of shit to keep track of. Amazing. So we are back at the top of the initiative. I want to actually start with Ace, if everyone's okay with that, since Ace is in that auxiliary hangar. So Ace, you're back. You're up at the top of this elevator shaft. You see this battle happening within near range of you. What would you like to do on your turn?
How many enemy mechs are in this area?
There are 5 enemy mecha in this area.
All right, I'm gonna run to 2 of them that are in the back. That are right. Are there 2 of them that are right next to each other?
There are. So there's like there's 3 that are up close and fighting with their broadswords, and then there's 2 behind them firing these bolt thrower weapons.
Okay, so I'm gonna run up to the 2 that are in the back, and at this point I'm doing the slide on the knees.
Yeah.
And just slice one of them in half, and then promptly just appear out of nowhere. And then next round, I've got a nice little special, maybe something special to add to that. But so for my power attack, I have advantage on this roll because I am ambushed.
Yep.
And during this time too, just after I hit, and that advantage, thank God, because I needed that. I succeeded. After I hit and become visible, I'm like, the cavalry here, boys! Keep blasting away! You can do it! And I'm providing the people that are there with some inspiration to kind of keep going and fighting and stuff like that. So
killer. Okay, awesome. Yeah, when I make their roll, I will keep that in mind.
And that is going to be 12 points of damage as I slice into this. And I did it recklessly. So
cool. Okay, awesome. Not enough to take him out, but almost enough to take him out. So I imagine you actually like slice through this one's leg completely as you're coming up out of cloak. And it just kind of like topples backwards with this bolt thrower in its hand. Very nicely done.
And I'm looking at it like, boys, let's party.
Oh my god, I love it. Lancer is absolutely the dad of this fire team. It is so perfect. Like, I feel like when you guys leave, Lance is gonna be like, "You guys ready to rock and roll?" Like as he's coming out of the Red Robin bathroom, like ready to leave.
The Red Robin.
We need some more. We need some more dad jokes.
Yes. No, it's so perfect. I love it. Okay, back in the primary hangar. What are y'all up to? How do we want to do this? What do you guys want to do? Whose turn is it? 1,000 questions.
I'm willing to wait because like there's no enemies around me right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see what everybody else is prioritizing so I can make a move.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Equipping weapons and shields. How does that work? Like, what does it take?
So how I've ruled it in the past is basically you can take a use action to make any sort of weapon changes that you want. So shield, different kinds of weapons, whatever. Like a single use action is enough to do all of those swaps.
Okay, then I will. Just for effect, I disengage whatever tentacles are remaining, and I'm going to start running out. I guess it's only one movement, so I get to the entrance to the hangar.
Yeah, you're going to the same hangar that that Ace is in right now.
Is that the only one that we know of?
There are
Just kidding.
2 separate auxiliary hangars. There's the one that Ace went up to, and then there's one down below.
So his is the closer one, correct?
They're equidistant.
Equal.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna head to the secondary, the other one.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, you're heading down to the other one, and then with a single move action, you can get halfway there. If someone
And-
wanted to use a Zeta point, you can get him there all the way.
I will do.
All right, so I will roll. Okay, so first, as he starts disengaging, he pulls out his scatter gun, and he jumps out. And because I can actually use the Geist system repeatedly, I think, and so the reactor died from my second movement. That's a success. So, my own force of will, I just ignore the reactor roll, and I just jump out and head towards there. And I will give, since I think, how far away is he? Far range still, or Lancer?
So Lancer would be distant to you if you're heading down to the other hangar.
Okay. And how far away am I from the other two? I should have.
You'd be far from them.
Okay, so I will then engage. They will both get the +1
For your shield nodes.
ability for the shield nodes.
Cool. Right on. Okay, awesome. That's Voodoo. Skeleton, Colossus.
Yeah. What's around me?
So there's nothing around you in the hangar at the moment. This hangar seems clear. You see the cruiser outside powering up those guns again, and there are the auxiliary hangars that have come under fire.
I think I'd probably just take another stab at a far shot. So I'd move and shoot at the cruiser as that ching ching.
Let's see if you can do a Jonathan Miles with this cruiser.
Yes, with the artillery linear bazooka.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Well, I rolled a 6, which is a pass.
I think that
So
that one shot on that
2D
cruiser was the
2D10s.
result of a buster weapon, though, that he charged up for a round. So
okay, 15 damage.
damn. Okay, yeah. So not enough to take out a cruiser, obviously, but there's this.
No Jonathan level.
Yeah,
numbers.
you're not. Yeah, exactly. It's just
Not even in the same galaxy.
No, but it is a fairly devastating shot, and this you have to like lead the shot as this cruiser is kind of like almost in orbit around the station.
It's
just
like
firing
a
off these volleys.
unicorn, like full frontal, like surgical shot. Like
Yes.
it just takes out a really important part of the ship.
Very much so. Like there's like this cluster of artillery batteries that just goes up in this explosion as the linear bazooka goes off.
Destroyed their movie their movie room.
Their screening
Ah,
room, yeah.
Christ!
Yeah.
The theater.
not the home theater system.
Yeah.
We were going to watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
What a deep cut that you picked for the viewing that they were over there watching. That's so funny. Okay. So Colossus, I believe you're up.
Yeah. So with the heavy weapons, can they shoot farther, or do they have like the same range as any other?
So they have the same range, but you increase your attack by +2, which means you have less chance of hitting, but you deal +2 damage.
All right. What is the range of a ranged weapon like that?
Far. You just can't shoot distant.
Far.
Yep.
Is the cruiser far?
It is. Yes.
So, all right. I'm the only person with the Zeta point. I can't. They're far from where I'm at from where I am at right now, or do I have to move anywhere?
They are far from where you're at.
Perfect. Great.
Made my job a lot easier.
Yeah. So let me decide if this is the right order to do things. Well, I guess I have to use a use action to switch weapons.
Yep.
Okay, so I have to use a use action. So the maul goes back into my arm, and I pull out this. I pull out this giant, double-barreled, very long-barreled gun that has seen some action. I put a giant shell inside of it that has it's got rocket capability, so it can shoot things in space, and I load it as I'm basically using my entire body. I'm almost using the shields from the barricade mode to hold it up.
Ooh, yeah.
And I take aim at it, and I fire with this heavy ranged weapon.
Killer.
And that is, even with the +2, that is a hit. Not crazy amounts of damage this time around, but I do get +2 to the damage. Oh, but I am in battle mode. Does the battle mode increase even ranged?
Yeah,
attacks?
I believe it does. I think it still adds that D4.
Great. So I'm basically kind of using this like battle mode to target necessary systems, and that's going to do an additional 8 damage to the cruiser. As I say, well, I told the commander to go to bed. I'm just gonna go to his room. I'm gonna say, it's nap time, and as I shoot this rocket right down the snoot of this
Yes.
of this thing.
Drink your milk and finish your peas. Yeah.
Here's the airplane.
Yeah.
Woo!
So the cruiser is actually like trailing. You can see that it's you've breached the hull. It is venting atmo. You can see it trailing behind the cruiser as it sort of starts to adjust its orbit. And I mean, you can't hear it from here, but it's doing the like imperial as it's taking damage. Okay, that's everybody. Yeah. So let's do the thing. The two mecha near you, Ace, are going to attack. So I need 2 mobility checks from you to avoid that damage.
Alrighty. We're gonna change up the dice just for some fun.
Oh man, getting crazy, getting fancy with the
Yes.
spices.
That is a 1. and a 14, which both succeed.
Okay, so you are golden, just dodging, just nimble dodging these attacks like the ninja that you are.
Yes.
The civilians are going to attack, and they're going to get advantage from you, Lancer, for that inspiring speech. It's a good thing, too. Wow, they actually did, like, pretty decent damage. The damage that you dealt, Lancer, combined with the damage that Deb dealt earlier with the explosions in the auxiliary bays, combined with the damage that the civilians just did, 2 of these mecha go down. They just... But I also just rolled the mission twist, and as the governor is locked in combat with this remaining mecha here, there's just 2 out. There's 2 left. She kind of punches this mecha, and as she turns to attack the other one is already sliding in with this Lodian broadsword, and you see it just completely bisect this labor mech. And there's this explosion that goes off as the fuel line ruptures, and over the comm, you hear the governor say, keep fight! Shh! Static, as her mecha just completely falls apart, and the wreckage falls to the deck of the hangar. In response, the civilian forces, this great cry goes up over the comms, "Ah!" And they come charging forward, firing off these welding beams, and fighting with renewed vigor, channeling their rage into their attacks as the governor goes down. That is a gnarly twist that Gwen put in here. Good job, Gwen. So, that was bad guys. The cruiser is actually moving. It is putting more distance between itself and the station. The combination of the turrets firing at it and the like bombardment of artillery from the hangar, from Colossus and from Skeleton Kiss, the cruiser fires off these retro thrusters and begins moving away, becoming distant range from Kuro. We're back up at the top of the initiative. Let's go.
Could I go first to like cross that distance back to far?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, as the governor kind of gets rended, you just see the pinprick like red lights in the sunken skeletal mask that is otherwise charcoal black just flare fully, completely ablaze, as the like bioorganic mecha just rips across like a hurling cheetah towards this cruiser and just crosses that distance with like an angry look in its face, just its eyes, until the faceplate that was this gripped teeth maw molded from metal starts to tear apart, and all these like calcified pieces just starts to crack and shatter, and you see these like virulent, almost like poisonous yellow teeth, maw teeth, just fucking extended, and in the center of this mouth you just see this barrel, and then like the maw beam of the chassis I picked shoots out across at the cruiser. So that's a D12, which is the highest damage die I have been able to roll, but power first. So let's see. Okay.
What are ties? Failures.
Fuck. Right. Okay. So
It has to be
never
under.
describe anything. You should
Yeah.
never make anything sound cool.
no, but this is okay. But I feel like I
It's
want to
fine.
see some like Dominion tech save the day or something. But yes, yeah, okay. So that's a hard fail.
I
But-
wish I could re-roll that for you, but
I could do it again.
You could just push it, and roll your reactor twice. Do it again.
I'm so down.
Oh
Didn't
God,
you
please
move
do it again.
closer?
Oh, you did move. Oh, but he
Oh,
can
Zeta
wait.
point.
Zeta point
There
for an extra action. There you go.
Does
So I
anyone
say-
have a Zeta point left?
I do. I'm the last person. I say, Silas, you got it.
Thanks, Mom. No, but seriously, he would be like, continuing to acknowledge that you have not died. Thank you.
Stop
and,
chatting and start shooting, you ding dang dingus.
Yes. Okay.
Ding, ding,
So
dingus.
this time we got a success on the reactor
Yeah. Oh.
and 7 on the D20.
Killer.
So we're good. So Ma Beam D12.
Man.
Okay. 9.
Not too shabby. Hang
Not-
on. Do you
not
mind if
even
I
as effective as my regular attacks, but fucking epic to feel.
do you mind if I check to see what happens before you narrate here?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Let me just do some addition.
I have an idea for the cruiser.
I don't expect it to down it.
That's enough.
Oh shit, man! Great.
Okay, well, I would like. I've kind of described it thus far. So you just see this like massive guttural orange-red beam just fire across and eclipse the vision and monitors of all of these mechs as it slams into the cruiser. However, it catches the bow at such an angle that it rips a small fire into the cruiser itself that is obviously going to fell it, but there is an opportunity here that is open for the rest of the mecha pilots to finish this off as they please, and that is my desire, is to pass it on as you just see this thing just lurching and belching flame. It is done. It is up to the others whether or not they finish it ultimately to send a message.
Killer. With the disabling of this cruiser and the call goes out to the remaining Dominion mecha on board the station, I want to wrap up here, and I want to give everyone a narrative scene where they describe their last moment in the battle. Get crazy, describe it however you want, kill as many other mecha if you want, take out that cruiser. Let's see how things wrap up here. So let's go ahead and we'll just do order down here. So we'll start with Aaron.
Just as the veteran freedom fighter Deborah Mikulski predicted, the Dominion, though pragmatic, is callous, and there is a commander aboard that ship who says the words that she predicted. Fine. If these peasants wish to keep their station, they can keep it in hell. And they begin to turn the mostly destroyed cruiser towards Kuro Station, as it comes crashing down. Deb sees this. There are these pallets of these explosive crates, and there is this netting, this cargo netting that is everywhere. The Colossus Alpha takes the netting, wraps it around these crates, and just starts spinning it around her head, and just chucks it into space. And we see as the boxes, at some point they become unfurled, and we see this Dominion commander look in terror as just all of these boxes. He hasn't seen the battle on the inside, so he just says, "Ha! They throw food at us," and the whole bridge gets exploded as he gets sucked into space, and this creates a shift in its momentum as the wreckage just careens towards void. And we'll leave that for Colossus Alpha.
Amazing. Okay, Jay, what is the last scene that we see of the Ace of Spades here in this battle?
So, because there was 3 left in the hangar, one that just killed the marshal or the governor.
Yeah.
I'm sitting next to 2 of them. He basically in that next round suddenly hits down, and this cloud, some vapor, some vents open up in his back and along his legs, and then suddenly this electronic just gas just shoots out and just envelops these 2 mechs that are around him waist high, and suddenly this arcing electricity suddenly just there's like a spark, and then just jolts both of these, and one of them that he damaged earlier gets jolted so much that things just blow up and he just melts at that point. And the other one that he was standing next to that's getting jolted, suddenly his system is overloaded and can't move, which opens the opportunity for him just to decapitate the creature at that point. And the other guys are fighting this last one that just killed the governor, and that next round he just bolts forward and just comes down and slices the last one, because most of the damage from all the other guys from the crew people are killing, takes that one down, and then goes to the governors and tries to see if there's anything left. And he's looking down, he's like, if there was nothing left, it's like, looks at all the people. She fought bravely. She was your governor. She'd be proud of all of you. We shall drink in her memory. And someone play that damn guitar, because I don't want any more.
I imagine that's what she would want to.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
And then as I look over, I see the explosions and everything outside, and like, yep, Mom got it. Mom got it.
Damn it, Mom, you brilliant son of a bitch. All right, Matt, what is the last that we see of Skeleton Kiss?
After firing that open, gnarled teeth maw cannon, the Skeleton Kiss doesn't manage to seal its jaw quite tight, but retracts its jaw into its face and carries a still terrifying but solemn look. It starts to drift backwards, almost like one would look if they were suddenly plunged into the ocean. Arms expanded, almost loose, and just at the mercy of the elements. And this is happening in midair. As this is happening, there is a glaring red screen reflecting into the face of Silas, old man Silas, the Mark II bionic soldier, Silas type, who lived a life as a mercenary as the Lacuna Coil pilot of this thing. But in those years, he became connected to this monster in a way that was bigger than the fight that they were built for. He made it out alive, and he got to find a little bit of peace. He reflects on this in this moment as the message, the glaring red message, reads, "Self-destruct imminent." Boom, boom. It repeats, and the cockpit hatch actually opens, and the bot says, "Master, we're going, at last." And he says, "That door is not for me, and you know it." And the mono eye kind of glitches for a second, and then it just makes a kind of whirring noise and says, "You are also my longest friend." And it retreats out the open cockpit hatch, which snaps shut. And then he kind of leans backwards as the kind of overloading old prototype Geist system jack that's in the back of his neck is just kind of throbbing and illuminating the cockpit in pulses, and he just leans back and accepts what's happening, and there is a pulse out from the mech, and it retracts inward, and this mecha just compresses in on itself. The alloy itself just compresses until it's just a perfect white and red swimming in it sphere, and it drops on the ground.
Awesome. Finally, Paul, what is the last that we see of Voodoo Raven during this battle?
As he looks into the hangar, and there's the last few enemy mecha, and they're about to take on the younger mecha pilots. He throws away the scattergun, goes full speed into the hangar, and barrel rolls the mecha that are in there, gets back up. The mecha is still sputtering a bit, and the whole front where the reinforced cockpit is just damaged, and you see some venting of gases and stuff, and it like a mist that clears, and you see Voodoo, you see Corbin Poe clear in the cockpit. Mask is just damaged, and it's actually falling off of him. His armor's damaged, and you see a twisted face that looks like it's been just like destroyed and burnt, and there's actually no lower jaw, and you hear the mechanical strained voice from him that says, "Surrender."
The enemy mecha surrender without a fight. They drop their weapons to the plating of the deck, and there's the backdrop of the Dominion cruiser just slowly breaking apart and exploding with the damage dealt to it by these explosives and by the maw beam of Skeleton Kiss. The next few days are a blur for everyone who survived the fight. There is joy and jubilation in knowing that the Dominion had been ousted from the sector and likely won't return, at least for some time. But there is a deep melancholy as well, as the dead are mourned, and there's a scene with the 3 surviving pilots here standing among the people of Kuro Station as a funeral is held for all who fell in the battle, including the governor herself. The last shot we see is that kid, that 16-year-old kid that approached Silas and asked him to help. And he's sitting in the cockpit of a mecha. He's typing a few things. And he goes, "Okay, I think we're ready for our first test." He leans back as the cockpit closes, and we get this shot of the camera as it pulls away from Kuro Station, mirroring that shot that we saw as we zoomed up to Kuro Station and saw it for the first time. And as we zoom away, we see this streak of light as a mecha leaves the station, and we get a very anime freeze frame as this mecha pulls into the frame, and we see that it is a retrofitted Neo-Dominion Knight, repainted, re-outfitted, and the sigil on its shield is a very familiar looking skull-like face, the visage of Silas inspiring this kid. And that is where it fades out and we get our end credits. That is where we'll end our session. That was an absolute blast. What a fun bunch of characters. What a great mission. Gwen wrote a really incredible mission. A lot of awesome stuff to pull from here, and I just about died when I rolled that twist and it said the governor falls in combat. I was like, no way. So that's great. Gwen, amazing mission, and I just want to thank these players for joining me. So I'll allow everyone to do a quick sign off, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll go ahead and we'll do it in reverse order. We'll switch it up. Paul, do you want to give a sign off here? Plug anything you want, and yeah.
Well, that was an epic thing, and thanks to Gwen for creating that. Thanks to Matt for running it, and you can find me on YouTube or on Twitch. I run a few games. I'm working on a setting right now. It's called The Lightless World. Still working on it before a playtest can come out in that. But thanks for players. It was love the interaction and everything, and the role playing. It was just, this is one of, I've played this a few times, and it's always fun to play it. There's a lot to it. It's as simple as it is. There's also a lot to it, and I enjoy it every time.
Yeah, there's a lot of the rules themselves are fairly simple, but there's a lot of complexity that can happen with the different abilities and modules and things like that. So we saw that tonight with like Zeta points flying around, support die, people are buffing each other up and stuff. So that's always a lot of fun when you kind of push things to their limits. So Matt, go ahead with your sign off.
Yeah, this was awesome. I have been dying to play Mecha Hack outside of Paladins, because every time I play it, I'm running it. But which is awesome. But I was very much looking forward to putting another character in the docket, I guess. And
the dossier.
Hell yeah, this was a great game. I had a fantastic time. I'm not plugging much. However, Matt Click was a part of a Gundam pseudo-canonical role-playing game that we enjoyed and will continue to. And the first podcast episode of that, which will be released on a platform called the Giant Robocast, will be released at the very end of our Paladins game. So stay tuned if you have been watching Fistful of Dice or Match Channel or Paladins campaign. There is more content to be had after the fact, and please tune in because it's our last few episodes.
Yeah, in that Gundam game, I get to play a grumpy old gun cannon pilot, and it's a lot of fun. All right, Jay, go ahead and do your sign off. This is my first opportunity to play with you, Jay, and I have to say it was a pleasure having you at my table.
Likewise, thank you so much for allowing me to play with you guys. This was a great system. I absolutely love mechs, and I'm so blessed that I was able to join you guys. This was fun system, fun game, and everyone just did an awesome job. Thank you so much. It was so much fun. I'm Jay. For those who don't know me, I can be found on the socials as NeoFed3 or Wednesdays at Scryer Vision Twitch channel. We're playing Scryer Vision, a D&D 5e game, which a friend of mine created his own system, like world and stuff like that, and we're playing. It's the Amazing Race and Hunger Games mixed in a dungeon, world. So it's pretty fun, and we're just finishing up our first season. So we're starting that on Wednesdays on the Scryer Vision channel. So that's where you can find me, and a few charity events and stuff like that here and there. So
very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jay. It was great having you, man. And Aaron, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I want to thank all the players here for doing a great job, and thank you to Matt for running a great game, and thank you to Gwen for writing a great mission. What a freaking treat. I do love this game so much. I say it a lot, but Mecha is not like a genre that I really vibed with for a long time, and I didn't really get it. But when I started playing Paladins, I really started, and this game actually, even more than just me watching Gundam to like prepare for that game, really made me love it. I mean, like to talk about that complexity. I mean, I know that I was kind of joking around with just like the sheer amount of dice and things I was having to the math I was doing to like make sure that I was, but I really, that's one of the great things about this game is that it's so simple, but it can really, some of the greatest moments and most fun moments is like these moments that it does kind of spiral out of control, where it's just like, oh shit. And because there were times that whole time I wasn't adding +2 for my heavy weapons either. So I was just like, right. I was still making the checks and all that kind of shit, but it was just, it's so lovely. It's a very inspiring game too. I mean, I know it's a great, use of the Black Hack itself, but it adds its own stuff that is really, really inspiring to like how you can use it and make it your own. So please support the mission manual on Kickstarter, because I have, and I want to get all those nice little stretch goals and all that stuff. So please support, and please continue to support AbTab. You can find me at Aaron DVS on Instagram or Twitter. If you want, like food pics or the occasional map pic or an update on a Columbo case, that's a great place to start. I also, speaking of the Mecha Hack and how it's really inspiring, I may be trying to run a game soon in AbTab, not Mecha Hack, but using the rules of Mecha Hack to do something a little different. So keep an eye out for that.
Ooh.
And if you'll indulge me, one little post-credit scene, we see Hank sort of has this like star chart out as he's sitting in the passenger seat of the Winnebago, and you see Deb steering, very, very analog steering wheel on this spaceship. And she looks back in the back seat, and she sees that Shelly is there, just kind of like looking at her space phone. And right next to her is Shane, who has the co-pilot orb, and sits it on his lap, almost petting it like a dog. And that's where I will leave off. Thank you, everybody.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yes.
That's so good. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, definitely check out Mission Manual on Kickstarter. We're like so close to that 15,000 where we unlock the swarm rules. I would love to include those in the book, so definitely go check those out. We're like $700 away, so we might, maybe by the end of the weekend, we might hit those. Who knows? Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Tomorrow's Small Business Saturday, and I'm a small business, so you should support us on Kickstarter. I don't know. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. We're going to be running another one of these next Friday with a whole different group of players, so tune in, check it out. I'm going to be running a different mission. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Catch you next time. Take care, and happy gaming